the box. Nade earned again, but tucked, hiding away from the position. As Sentinel's trying to play this one just with a little bit of intelligence. And John gets that information. And a shot to the head. Thrifty here, MasterCard, well earned.
What a timing for it too. Definitely felt like Gen G was running away with this game. And this is a must-win map for SEN. This is where they felt the most favored. This was their pick of all of the maps they could have gone to. And as the desk was mentioning earlier, they're kind of playing for the 3-1, hoping they don't even need to get to Icebox. Incredible shots being hit there, and Sassy on fire here on byte. We expect to see those a little more, I think, from the Gen G players. But here it is. Texture with an operator, looking down B long.
Yeah. He's got himself onto a really nice forward angle. Spotting out this operator is going to be pretty key and essential here for Sentinels, but they don't have anything concrete to clear it out. Look, even a Dizzy just clears it. Jump spot from second was really out wide, but giving up that space. But Gen G putting such a heavy premium on control of just both B long and showers. Even got a cam set up. Munchkin willing to hold it down.
Yeah, and they've actually not really heard much on either site. Caron goes for the gamble over towards B. I'm interested. Munchkin didn't quite find the timing to take a duel, but he's now tucked in a position, going to get cleared by that flash.
Yeah, certainly should be. Zekken eager to take the fight there with a boombot just right behind him. He knows the rough position here of Munchkin.
Caron's back immediately over towards A, so there's still 3 players defending this.
But only 30 seconds roughly left here. Mosh Pit sent flying over the top now as well, trying to take the space. It's only 10s and he's left alone to his own devices. So for the rest of his team here with only 25 seconds, that's a spike drop down on top of it. It needs to be heroics and it needs to be masterful play at that. Munchkin almost going down to the stray satchel, but it matters not. Overwhelming aggression from Gen G. Full lockdown in approach and play. And seconds dwindling down to nothing. It's Gen G up to 10.
The stack, the crossfire, way too much for SEN to deal with. And not just that, Gen G fighting close. Not trying to hold into backside and rely on the fact that, you know, they'll give SEN the play and try to push through smokes or anything like that. They fought almost even before Meteor was taking contact from the short trips. Look, they pick off 10s here. They're looking to try to fight them in short. They mollied off showers as well, so Zekken couldn't help. They picked that apart and fought aggressively. There's a really interesting quote from HSK, actually, during another interview where he said that Gen G tries to make the plays that other teams would hesitate to make. That's a very conscious thing that they've come into this year trying to do. We are going to try to be the team that picks that timing and fights you.
Been working so damn well for them here, Gen G.
Look at the rotates, Brent. Look at the rotates.
Set up and yeah,
there is less than 10 seconds into the round, and they're planning to 5-stack B.
Second showstopper. Loose here was vulnerable, but up close to the corner to clear. Kiya! Blinded! What? Found what? Snaps it! Sentinels. They found an advantage, but it's about converting it now into a round win.
And they've got an inkling that there's a ton of players here stacking the site, but they're not fast enough to pull the trigger and go for the rotate through the teleport, which would have been a play to open up the A site for a free plant. They found themselves that player advantage, and now Gen G, with the players stacked, looking to re-explore.
Oh man, look at this call to contact re-clear. Are they going to be ready with the rifle play? It needs to be online. It is Sentinels. Clean sweep there, out towards it, forcing Gen G out in the open. That slight pause keeps them alive for now, and it was really necessary, Josh. I mean, you end up losing that one. Gen G up to 11. The economy just been dwindling. Sentinels getting rocked left, right, and center.
But what is this? The timing on that Dizzy. It just blinds Luckier right. Yeah. Well, he was 1 HP, I think, after he went through the Viper wall as well. Yeah, so just, but still, caught down extraordinarily low. And the crowd here behind Sentinels, willing them forwards.
They're not easy rounds that Sentinels are winning.
They're not at all. Again, Gen G had 5 players B.
That's fast though. Zekken is in front of the snakebite as well. A little bit of damage, almost a kill onto Lackey. It's good damage. It's going to be permanent. There's no heal online. At least he can't heal himself. Now the Trailblazer for the re-clear. Munchkin, you can't be calling for that one again. He just goes down with it.
Yeah, and these are the times when Munchkin ends up getting punished, and it's looked rough for Gen G. We haven't seen very much of it. Munchkin's been playing a superb game, but that's the kind of stuff that was happening in Pacific, and SEN have taken full advantage. There's 3 players very close to key ultimates as well, though the orb is not here. SEN put another pause in the round, maybe hoping that Gen G would do another exploration. They've got to be cautious about Texture's ultimate, and Garon's, for that matter. The more they let the time click, the more that those ults could just win it for Gen G.
Josh is waiting for the fuel here, just to prop both of it up, make sure he can clear some of this util. Trip. Spotted and broken. Not be pulling any of the Gen G players away. It looks like positioning is being shifted. No. Still a reclear of Texture. He's happy to hold this close angle.
30 seconds left.
This one he has the rocket available to him. Another trip. This time. Noise pressure on either side. The TP rotation is now core with 20 seconds left. Guess what?
What about
gone now?
What about Charon's ult?
Charon's ult, yeah, it's not really going to be handled here at all, and that's going to be sending it out with Wingman. He's going to be broken. No! They disabled it correctly, but it does catch on the second. So the plan is online. 4v4 though. A must win for Sentinels. Must win indeed.
The flank.
Fast wrap around, flanks on, flanks Lakia, punished for it. At least recognizing SEN the weaknesses of their own compositions, but is immediately answered and evened back out.
Celsius got
Even
ult.
so, advantage now for Gen G here with the ult. Here's the first tap, and he's waiting for the second point. Karen's fast onto him. Karen's fast onto him. Already approaching and expecting that position, and he just has to let it rip anyway before anybody even taps. Gen G so fast with the moves, yet Sentinels shut it down.
The tension in those kind of rounds when it gets down to a post plant is palpable. Sentinels were so close to major ults getting online, and I think if Celsius hadn't found the kill to be able to get his up, there was all the chance in the world that that round was going towards Gen G. Tens with 2 gorgeous kills towards the end, off the back of the Dizzy. And Gen G forced to take a timeout. Their first of this map. Frankly, it might be the first in the match that we've seen. I'm not sure whether they threw one in on Breeze.
Certainly a rarity. You don't see them often. Calling for that timeout, cool down in the play here, because this is Sentinels actually making a very decent go of it. Yes, they won here and there, a couple of half-buy rounds when the economy wasn't too good, but that was, full-on gunplay occurring.
Remember, though, that this should be the map where Sentinels are the most favored, and they're still behind by 1 round.
Yeah.
Even though they're favored in the next, due to the economy advantage, it's not clean sailing here, not by any means. Gen G fighting for every inch of this, not willing to give up any of these maps that they so carefully selected. Now, in terms of what Gen G are going to be talking about in the timeout here, I think it's going to be about those defensive rotations. They've been stacking the opposite site to the lurk. So when John QT goes and puts pressure and breaks that trip, if it doesn't feel like an exec down short, they still keep players on B. And this time, John QT took the space and called for the rotate over. So that's kind of the opposite, I think, of what Gen G were expecting. And it's possible that Solo and HSK are just addressing that and coming up with a slight variation in how they play the defense. We'll have to keep an eye.
Lakia now eager for this orb, looking to one away from the ultimate, but again, might just earn it himself, he does, with him dropping, sent to the spectator seat. He's gonna have to sit on the sidelines and really fester and wonder about what went wrong there. Now it is explosive, second, through and out into the elbow position, spraying down Texture. This is explosive into the back of the side. They try and stand their ground, but they can't hold their candle. Not against the weapons.
Huge one, clean one. Sentai the game up. And those ults that were close to being able to be put online a couple of rounds ago, where Zelsis Orbital Strike made all the difference, now look at them. Huge tools available to SEN. If they're able to lean on those, it will knock the Gen G economy once more. And the game, which Gen G had under some level of control, will start spiraling away from them. Gen G
machine just churning them up now.
The stack, 3 players over towards B to start, and Karen in a very committed position.
Super committed, but he backs away now with the knife out. Close tucked here. Sentinels.
I mean, this is looking like you thrash to try to put pressure on people, yep. And Zekken follows it up.
Mosh and Seekers with a thrash on top, like you said, Josh here, sending it flying. Zekken is eager for the engagement, even more so, spots it out, Munchkin. First one to fall, fills up that feed for them nicely here. But Gen G might even look to try and fight back with the pit down. Something has to really dislodge this one here. Maybe even a few stray bullets. Sassy finally planting, elbow control for them. On top of that, it's Hookah.
They didn't plant though. They're still getting it down now, and Gen G are taking elbow control in the meantime.
It might work against them because it has cut off these angles, and the core made to contact works out beautifully. Thrash through with the flash as well. On top of it, it comes down to how can he win these kills out? Second, as the Wrangler the Beast that is his rifle lit up like beacons, but it matters not. Sentinels. It feels like almost the first time here in this series. I'm sure it's not, but they get that lead, at least by one.
And relying so heavily on getting those ults up. Look at this play, Munchkin stuck while the rest of his team ended up playing for retake. He was just hoping to go 1-for-1 in this spot. But Zeken's entry has so much to help him. Seekers coming from B long, a Thrash, nade into backside, smokes to cut off all the angles. Sen just decided to drop the nuclear codes and just send that one into B. And that's a great time to do it too. Oh, the punish on Alakia. Huge. Great read that he was going to be going for the ult off at the start of the round.
And that's play just going their way.
Yeah, that's what you need. You need to keep these anti-ecos clean for Sen if you want them to start building up. Because Gen G are super dangerous in these kind of moments. You cannot count them out. They're so apt to take risks in these rounds that have paid off well in the series so far.
Completely ignoring Hookah. It's a smart call as well. You don't want to walk into those shotguns, but the trips close will cause some issues here.
Celsius has just used all 3 of his smokes, one, I believe, to drop off Hookah, so they've got to commit while these smokes are up.
Fine, with a trip get any value, just over and above the top of it here. Second satchel now to see the ball position with Meteor down. Really no more danger. Sentinels, they are steady as anything here. They can feel it on the precipice. They're getting that 12th round here. A critical map in the juncture that is this series.
Texture and Munchkin really with no chances in the round. Though Sassy looks to take the fight instead of relying on the double up.
Zelsis, safe pair of hands there. Rifle in them, make sure that there's no funny business.
And Munchkin, you can see the motor mouth popping off there. Just gonna save and take this time to address with his team what the game plan is once rifles get online in round 23. Because this is crunch time. Gen G need 2 in a row to just drag this to overtime. And they do not seem happy with the idea that Sen are going to be able to win on their map pick. There is still a chance for Gen G to get back into this one, but these recent rounds have all gone the way of Sen. A reminder, though, that they did it by using ultimates. Even here, Zeken pops the showstopper to be able to get into B. So Gen G, do they actually need an adjustment?
Wow.
Not just the save for Munchkin to talk. Now a timeout called, the second of the map, to allow their coaches a bit of input too. But Bren, what I'm saying here is, yes, it's been 5 in a row for Sentinels, but crucial rounds have been won off the back of ultimates.
Yeah.
And Sen do not have access to those anymore. I mean, they're one away from getting Seekers back up because Sassy is frying. But I think Gen G's game plan has not necessarily been the issue so much as them fighting an uneven war.
Finally, there's going to be a bit of that parity. Even guns on Gen G's side. Sentinels running out of those ultimates. I think you are right. I mean, you're right on the money in terms of just talking about the game plan for Gen G. It hasn't really been going amiss. They've just been getting ran over, steamrolled almost by just that sheer ult economy that's just been churning, generating constantly for Sentinels, but it has run out. And Gen G have to put a stop to it here if they want to stop Sentinels on their map pick.
Yeah, and we're talking about it running out, but Sassy could certainly play for the Showers Orb here. It looks like Sen are set up for a fast Showers take. And unless Meteor's able to pull off some magic, because he's going to be vastly outnumbered.
Let's see it.
Seekers are going to be online, surely.
What have you got up your sleeve, Meteor? Team needs some magic. We need it now. He's backing away. It's just that aggressive cam.
He's been putting that there a lot, though.
Yeah.
They've already seen that in a couple of post-plant situations. Sen are going to know. It could trigger some kind of Showers crunch, though, so they've got to be a bit cautious. Look, Tens, Zeken, ready to punish the players that might come through the teleport, using Sassy as bait. And now they walk forward, get Seekers online.
Texture. Close, up onto the angle, dog broken. Boombot as the first layer of contact.
Munchkin
here.
pushing out through sand, Brent.
Is Munchkin, and he's been doing this at least in the qualifiers. It could be a punishable element. They have to be aware of it. Gaps in the play for Sentinels, and it looks like Celsius is seemingly clearing most of this, but they've left that tiny, tiny window.
These are slow rotates. Second, though, making a little bit of noise. Munchkin's going to make the call. Look at these rotates from Gen G. All come in, beating the rotate.
No way.
Getting into B.
Flooding back in.
And Munchkin has not overplayed his hand. Makes sure that he just feeds the info his team needs. And what a call this is.
Gets the hell out. 30 seconds. This is going to be a full committal. Straight into the more out wide. They're not expecting it. Gen G players holding their ground, rooted and snared into place, but they're willing to just fight tooth and nail. Spike drop down, Molly's at the feet. Nobody can advance, nobody can step over the line. There's gonna have to be those shots, gonna have to be that firepower. But again, is it enough? Is it enough? It's not! Meteoric from Meteor himself.
And what a call by Munchkin, man. We saw him go for those sand pushes all throughout Pacific, often getting punished for them, but played this one to perfection. Sentinels have got to be scratching their heads after that, thinking, how on earth, when we were fairly quiet the whole way over towards B and had made noise throughout showers, how did they get the read? How did they know?
Let's go.
Incredible play from Munchkin without really even popping up on the kill feed. All just based on getting that deep positioning and hearing the footsteps and calling the rotate. The defense side rotates from Munchkin are just phenomenal. And to make that play and just push the very boundary of what you can get away with in a round that now makes this feasible, that we could be heading to overtime.
That's why SEN are calling this timeout here. It's the last one that they've got, at least in regulation, and they understand the importance of the round. You don't want to go to OT, not against Gen G, not when they've been making these adaptations over time and correcting towards it.
Yeah, and not just that, Brent, we were talking a lot about the ults being on the side of Sentinels. Well, now the coin has flipped. Munchkin still has access to that Viper's Pit. Charon, one away from being able to get an orbital strike online. These are ultimates that in the middle of a round can change the flavor of what's happening dramatically. Oh my, Gen G are going to start the stack on A with 4 players. What a gamble to push them through into OT.
4-1 setup. Don't see it. Looks like they're going to try and set up Munchkin for that deep pit in through the main choke, and he is going to layer it down. Needs to be defended in time, but here's that showers fight. Molly drop down. Gen G walking, Gen G walking, Gen G walking, but losing the fight. Initially, it's up to Lakia. Hold it down and stand as ground.
Short players!
Away the short players, and Lakia comes up huge. You're joking. Getting away with murder.
It just flips in an instant. Gen G not happy to just sit inside the pit. Pushed outside of it. Managed to get a kill. 2 up towards short. Outrageous decision from Munchkin and the Gen G coaches coming out of SEN's TAC timeout. And now funneling the final 2 survivors straight into these trip setups. I mean, this just looks absolutely brutal for SEN to deal with.
Dire straights. Not only the trips, got to worry about Charon's ult, delaying, denying. Meteor himself as well, he's just tucked. Safe position. But out wide, there won't be any punish onto these trips, but they're not going to walk into it anyway. It's just concealed, but that TP through Munchkin.
They just know.
He's just got to read. I mean, they just know. Now with the cam, they spotted it all. And look at that, Charon sends it and splits them up. For OT, all the way here, Gen G not going to be denied it at all. John QT dropping to the floor. And let's go again, shall we?
There's a perfect example. I mean, look, let's let's look at this for starters. Second and Celsius trying to hold the push and just got minced. Tense as well, not realizing that Lakia was in the corner, despite the fact that he caught a little bit of chip damage. But for me, that final moment where Munchkin just comes, all right, there's 30 seconds left. We haven't seen them over towards A at all. They've got to be taking B. And they just went through the teleporter. They're not worried about the fact that it could have been a late A hit at all. They just trust the read. Something that a lot of the coaches have been talking about. I mean, defending champs, Potter and EG talk about that all the time, trust in your gut, and I feel like no team embodies it more at the moment than Gen G.
Yeah, full committal into the calls that are being made here, but the sides are swapped around now. Opening a round of OT. Meteor. They're going to go with this one here. Cam attacking, but already through the choke point. Still, they deal with him. Pesky intruder out towards, and Shower's control is going to be essential. What is the call now for Gen G?
A plan for backside here and taking control of the defense spawn seems like a good idea. But Gen G don't want to commit to it just yet. Now, Karen's got one smoke to play with. You can smoke off heaven, you can have somebody watch over towards pipes, but they're not making a decision here. They're slowing down and they're kind of trapped.
Waiting for Munchkin.
Yes, but what is Munchkin really going to do? Tens is on a great angle at B long.
It's just all hinging on this, isn't it? It's an off angle at that.
I just don't see how Munchkin clears this.
Yeah, an ADS. Spoils it for Munchkin here, Tens.
It's weird though, because they don't know where Gen G are. They could be all the way up heaven, all sorts of spots.
It's gonna cause the push out here by Sentinels, meeting them right into texture, but he wasn't waiting for it. As a trade attempt by Caron, he will fall too. Everybody topples, Sentinels. Flawless here. The first round of OT, and another chance to seal up this map.
Rare moment of hesitation, I think, from Gen G there. Munchkin clearly wanted to take matters into his own hands and was hoping that Gen G would find Sentinels making a mistake, going and re-exploring A for information. But Sen was so happy on B. Just one watching spawn, one watching B long. Very good patience and diligence from Sen to get themselves up to yet another map point. They've got to start closing these though.
It's integral. You look at the overall map pool in this best of 5 grand finals. It's an uphill battle almost all the way through. Bind is a necessary component that they need to take away.
Bren, Munchkin's in a really committed position here at Hookah. I don't see how he dodges Boombot Dizzy.
Here it is.
Oh.
Why didn't he just haste the fight to him?
That's
No
unreal.
way. How are you doing something like that, Munchkin? The two best players, arguably, on Sentinels. Put down like nothing.
Finds that timing before the utility's used perfectly. This is going to get scrappy, though, because they want to fight over the spike. They're not content with just playing the numbers advantage.
He is willing to join them, but he has cut off that angle here with the Trailblazer. Not broken
Weird.
down. Is he actually going to be stunned up? Bullets raining through. TP core texture is right there, fast in it. Here's the reinforcements. Here's the whole bloody team. Everybody joining the fight and the fray. Fast rotation. Stimmy. Evacuation.
That's an amazing read by Sentinels. They know that all 3 players are there, and this is a race that Sen have won. Rare for them to be able to beat the defensive rotates, but
Wait a moment.
a rare mistake as well from Gen G. They
Here
haven't got
it
the
is.
plant down.
Sassy hears the noise cues, but he just pre-fires and guesses incorrectly. The gamble not paying off still. Not willing to give up that space, but finally here, Mazaus is out in the open still. The kill found 2v2, running and gunning to just retreat and cover that section. Now the defuse, Meteor sticking all the way. Sprayed down, have earned, but that will be it. Sentinels, even it up 1-2-1. And I said it was necessary. And it certainly was necessary.
To the elation of the crowd, Sen, a grueling win for them, forced into overtime, but they do it at the final moment, converting a 3v5.
Absolutely incredible stuff so far. Plenty more action where that came from. Do not go anywhere.
gives you wings.
Listen up, says my teacher, and find other class. He says if you're not a believer, viewers, that's on you. Better shape up and pay your dues. Of my viewers, that's on you. I'll be on a flight soon to be in a singing. Gotta know all this propaganda. How do you do? Better get in my own medicine for you. Never gonna make them think I'll stand there. For all the things that I've said, pushing me closer to the edge. And I don't know that lose. Don't mind if I do. For all the things that I've said, pushing me closer to the edge. And I don't know that lose. Don't mind if I do. Free as the wind, and as strong as a piece of amber. Give me a breath, like the fire you'll soon remember. Ooh. I'll be on a flight soon to the end, I'm singing. Ooh. Gotta know all this propaganda. How do you do? For all the things that I've said, pushing me closer to the edge. And I don't know that lose. Don't mind if I do. For all the things that I've said, pushing me closer to the edge. And I don't know that lose. Don't mind if I do.
Well, folks, we got ourselves a game. 1-1 tied up, and there you can see the Vibe Merchant himself clocking in for a hard day's work. An incredible run from Sentinels in overtime. Took some heroics 100%, but goodness gracious, did Gen.G make them work for it, guys. I mean, Mimi, that was just, what a game we were just treated to.
Yeah, I mean, Gen.G was looking incredible in the first half. It seemed like all 5 of their players were stepping up and having moments. Lakia winning clutches. But once we got into that second half, Sentinels execs with this double flash comp were incredible, Mike.
Yeah, their ability to really slow down the tempo. And I mean, Josh kept talking about the rotations and stuff being absolutely key for Gen.G. But what was crazy was Sentinels continued to slow things down. And that's those sort of rounds where you're looking at it and you're thinking, yeah, Gen.G have got the reads. They're going to have people in the right place at the right time. Yeah. Sentinels were the ones to actually dictate that. And they came out on top. That string of rounds was absolutely insane.
Oh, it most definitely was. But let's not forget, though, that there were some brilliant calls. That actually takes us to our HyperX Reflex moment of the day. A little bit of a different one this time around. Mimi, why don't you go ahead and walk us through it?
Yeah, so this round, I think the real reflex of it is just showing how good the timings on utility is for Sentinels. Zekken using one satchel to get over that molly and then waiting for the second one. But right as that happens, you see that Sky Flash Dizzy combo coming in from long and from short. Perfectly catches that player in hookah and blinds everyone on site as well. So these traders from Sentinels can swing out together and win this round. Their synergy on those are incredible, and it really relies on these two guys on your screen, Mike.
Absolutely does. I mean, Zekken, we keep talking about how he's so explosive. I mean, no questions about it now. The most explosive player in terms of impact, in terms of what you see him doing on screen. And I think so far it's 51% overall round win rate for Sentinels. It's 70% when Zekken gets the first blood. He's dropping literally, there's a 1 in 4 chance of him getting a multi-kill. He has over 80 multi-kills already at this event, topping the charts. It's just insane to watch.
And I love watching him and Tense play together. No matter the agent, that duo's synergy is absolutely on point in the server.
But you know who I got to give some love to here? I got to give love to my ball brother over there, Sassy. My guy's holding it down. This dude seriously has been impressive, Mike. And this is a question mark coming into this. How is Sassy going to be? How is he going to perform? And I think in this one, he proved exactly why you want this world champion on your squad.
Sure, and we said this earlier, top of the show, Sassy maybe not numerically has had a couple of rough performances, you got to say it, right?
Sure.
You're bottom of the scoreboard.
You'll be the first one to tell you.
Yeah, you're lacking the value from utility, but particularly with this composition, like you've just noted there, having that second layer, particularly for some of these slow mid rounds, has been absolutely crucial. And Sassy, in my eyes, this has probably been one of his best maps so far at the event.
And exactly when it was needed. We're already into the agent select for Ascent, and this is a map where I think we really go back to what we've prided both these teams on, their excellent fundamentals. They're both going to be playing the default comp, but I think we have to put some extra pressure on this map, because for Sentinels, in my mind, this is a must-win. If they lose this map, they'll need to go to Icebox, where they are absolutely not favored, where they haven't had time to prep. They really need to take home Ascent.
Yeah, absolutely agree. And we've also still got the concern of split. And that's
right.
behind Ascent as well. So talking about aiming for the 3-1, looking for this to be a little front-loaded, this is the one you've got to follow up from that Bind victory.
If Gen.G can win this one, they have a real chance to lock in that trophy to win the first for Pacific.
It's a pivotal map 3. We'll see how things land and send it back over to Brennan Sideshow.
Even more important with this one here, getting us started. Ascent in our staging ground. Territory left to be claimed for both of these teams in a best of 5. Constant back and forth.
So much weight on Ascent. And so much uncertainty, I think, in terms of how these two teams are going to perform. It's a map that SEN like to float. I recently saw them perform incredibly well in their recent game against Paper Rex. Zekken in particular, starting on defense. Gen.G grouped up over towards tiles. Both teams, when we saw them play against Paper X, did a lot of the defensive set plays. But I think that was a specific ante. I don't know whether we're going to see as many of them here. It's a trap play in mid for SEN. Turret to watch contact over towards B.
The question is, how do SEN pivot now that the turret takes a contact? It's going to be Zekken. Eyeing it up onto the angle. Orb. Picked up. Now a smoke.
And this is quite nice because once you break the turret, you actually break the trap setup in mid as well. So SEN's setup that was dangerous to walk mid on, dangerous to walk cat on, now gets dismantled a little. The macro game continues to be played really beautifully by Gen.G.
Taking a bit of a wander now, straight down mid. Don't have the alarm bot to notify them of this one here. Sentinel's potential chance of the reclear, but no, just a shock dart. Bit of damage now onto Munchkin. Now steps going to be made with the alarm bot broken. Here it is, the flurry and rush from the Sentinels players. They have to really
flash.
back them up. He does have the flash. Paranoia goes wide and does not connect onto the necessary target, and that is Zekken still with that dash, spraying away, quite praying as well. It's all Sentinels. Reflecting and colliding. Only 2 left to stand here for Gen.G. Munchkin Lakia. Side by side. Now, there is damage done, but the door has been broken into their face. And with only 12 seconds left, Spike drop down and spawn on top of it. You have to make a good go of this if you are Gen.G, but you have to take liberties. How's he got away with that then? Time? 4 seconds, barely enough, but now broken in place. Zekken slaps him down with that one. A pistol round now granted here for Sentinels.
Zekken gets the cleanup on the final 2, but his positioning tucked behind the box. Getting the pick on Meteor, I believe it was, who tried to push lane. That's the one that's huge. This kill right here. If he ends up losing it, Celsius is under pressure. Suddenly the B site looks like it's going to fall a little. Very good setups from SEN. From the pistol into the adjustment. All looking good.
Somebody to keep an eye on as well. I mean, Zekken does seal it up onto that pistol round here. Getting a bit of acknowledgement, but we'll be taking a gander, that head-to-head, him versus Texture. Texture, another great map too on Bind. Seeing how that made manifest. Will there be a continuation into the series? Yet to be seen. Now Gen.G looking to just take control, maybe get an orb if they can, but they're really just being fought over this every step of the way.
Yeah, mowed down. Not really funneling the ult orbs into the players that would want them most. That's a silver lining to what has otherwise been a very simple round so far. Trying to bait out the second shot so they could punish. The movement. But second, with the ghost as well. Yeah, knocking that one out.
So that is flawless.
Yeah.
Sentinels can now set themselves up going into that third round here. Really critical one.
And I think this is where we'll get to see, are Sentinels going to go for the defensive set plays and that aggression? Because this would be the perfect round to try something like that.
Yeah.
You know, flash recon into mid, have TenZ teleport into a smoke or something like they've done before, or even go for a tiles crunch. It kind of looks like they're set up for a tiles crunch, except that there isn't a flash in mid. Maybe just a bit of aggression over towards B main instead. Doesn't particularly matter anyway, because Gen G, all 5 players grouped up as if they want to go for a fast A.
Stacked up. No time wasted with that one, just a flash to get them control towards A main. Deep knife. Quite deep enough, actually, really. Looking to tag. Or it does, in fact, actually, now, but the turret's going to be broken with the Nano Swarms. Still not deaded.
Yeah, nobody has gone to close the door, so the Nano Swarms haven't been used. Now they're popped. Karen took one of them out and gets the safe door down.
Insane pathing by Gen G, just avoiding all that Sentinel utility, but it does set it up now for the 5v5 retake. Now, of course, guns not on the side here for Sentinels, but they do have the util. They have been clean with it in the past. Texture wants to take the fight there, but caught out in the open with the paranoia. Tight into these positions, being flooded and swarm. Not enough with the bullets to spray them down. Reflank attempt now in through it. TenZ, he spots it, but doesn't expect the second player. Still, Celsius not being able to stick that defuse. He can't even get second onto it, and the damage has been done to all of them. Sassy has to really stick this one and pray for his life. Not enough. Barely over the line here for Gen G.
And they lose Lakia too. So that's a very expensive round to get on the board for Gen G. I like the idea that they went for their 2 players, Munchkin calling it, going for the wrap, back down through Catwalk, and then playing it one at a time, so TenZ thinks he's dealt with that post-plant lurk. And Meteor's able to pop through. At the end of the day, though, I think that's a win in the column for SEN. It's not technically, but they've done quite a bit of damage, kept the economy under control for Gen G, and got themselves the Odin, the op. Big tools to work with.
Massive tools. Essential, really, to any good hold of a Sent on the defensive side. Zekken took an early peek down mid, but thinking twice about it, I think, off the back of all that noise that Gen G are making. Open for a bit of a tussle here. Now, the drone does tag. Will there be any danger for TenZ inside the position? This time, Texture aware of it. Flash through around the back as well, but he can't quite lend a second one. At least his teammates can. Lakia cleaning up duty for him, and now retaking with the operator. Zekken, a stray shot. A gamble in that position.
Spike planted.
Oh! Ridiculous. I think this is one of the situations where you just need to save the op and Odin. Yeah. Get out of there. Not a fan of that defensive hold. The smoke that TenZ is using, got no problem with that. The one way used to be more standard, but plenty of teams running the full smoke that blocks up A main. It's really annoying for the attacks to deal with. You're seeing that Lakia is investing the drone pretty much every time. And actually, if they start to get the read on that, you know, TenZ or Celsius could start dominating that smoke and trying to spam him down when he's going for the drone.
Standing ahead.
There are little counterplays that you can do, but just not a huge fan of the timing that TenZ chose to try to get back into the kind of A main cloudburst that Texture had thrown. The attackers are going to be in there a little faster most of the time. All right, so SEN, silver lining, they still kept the op and the Odin. There it is, that entry. It just puts a lot of pressure on Celsius, then backpedaling. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair and honest Valorant.
We have the devs in house.
I'm sure they're working on it as we speak.
Yeah, we'll see. SEN have managed to at least, you know, scramble a buy together ever so slightly. It's half armor and Guardians.
I think this is going to be fast here, Brent. I think Zekken's going to want to look for an aggressive position. Or are they going for the one-way and tucking into wine?
Gearing up for it, and that didn't tag.
Yeah, but it did onto TenZ, who was thinking about using Paranoia.
Now mid. Name of the game here for Gen G. 4 players waiting. Zekken, too much to account for here. Wow, still gets out and still has the dash as well. In fact, is he going to use it? Yes, opts for it! Can't hit it with the readjustment there still. Now he nails it. Body's hitting the wall. Texture though, he's so rapid. Look at this guy. He's all the way up into heaven, but he is going to be shut down in the end. John QT Good awareness from that one. It's about trying to keep up with the tempo. Can't let Gen G run all over you. Lakia, sole survivor. One shot left for Zekken. Shot dart. Pushes him out.
Great punish.
Got a lot more to do. Wants to make a go of it.
Lucky, it has been astoundingly clutch, but he's not going to get anything this time. Celsius shuts it down. What a round from Zekken with the operator in hand.
Oh, yeah.
When we saw him play against PaperX, barely pulled out the op on defense, actually. Mostly rifling, mostly going for those defensive aggression plays. Now he's just allowing people to walk into him. Gorgeous reposition onto some of these angles, too, playing around the utility very well. Bit of a question mark for me, honestly, how Zekken was going to play with the op. We saw him absolutely dominate on this map. But, like I said, mostly with the rifle. He's looking very good to open here.
Hello, jump spot. Real chance here. Doesn't anticipate it. Texture. What the hell is that? Ferrari peak.
That's amazing, though, playing with that. Oh, and look at this, Caron. So deep.
Oh, through, and he gets the punish there onto Celsius, looking for that information inside the smoke. One of his own making. Drone clears through, and now he can just retreat back into the site tucked. What a play by Gen G.
Incredible from both of those players, Texture and Caron. Now Sen. Got more than they bargained with. Gonna play a disadvantage retake.
And they got an op. Very difficult.
Nothing to write home about here.
No, Gen G should really be in an advantage position, yet Texture goes down close. Quarters, action for Meteor, action indeed, but he does go down to the follow-through, spray-through of Sassy, anticipating it. The reflank now, just to re-clear into mid, and now regrouping up here for Sentinels. Damage done, but so is still on the opposite side, Zekken. You respond with that one. Need to deal with these players though. Anchoring, tucked, close Caron, he's gone. Lakia, Hunter's Fury available. Indecisive though in terms of how he wants to play this one. Sassy's just sticking this, and it is watched. Get down, Mr. President. Sentinels. I mean, pulling that one out of nowhere. I'm not gonna lie. Player disadvantage with the up ready. You shouldn't be winning retakes.
But it's Zekken again who actually finds 2 kills. One by peeking Heaven, if I'm not mistaken, and the other, they throw a recon dart that forces a swing, and he gets this kill kind of for free, but good awareness. That is bonkers that they've turned that one around, especially when Lakia had the Hunter's Fury to work with towards the end there. You're right, it really did seem like he wanted to set up a shock dart play or the Hunter's Fury and just realized, I have to swing this.
Yeah.
It's a tide turner.
Certainly is. Still danger though. Knife going to be stopping a few of these Gen G players in their tracks there. Caron actually can't get out of here, but it's a knife on either side, so there's no util to flush him out of that spot. And finally, they get their abilities back online. TP's out of dodge. While all this has been going on, Gen G happy to take that B main control. We're going to try and set up Lakia there in the meantime.
Yeah, looking to just try to farm the ult orb, but Meteor one away. So it's entirely possible that they're playing for that. Zekken pushed away, they know that there's no op over towards A. And Texture clears out the entirety of A main. This is going to allow, I think, Meteor to get his ult online. They might really want to go for this with the lockdown.
Consider it.
What is going on here, though? Gen G retreating away, but they haven't
don't
picked up the
have
orb.
B main control.
So they can't use the lockdown to fake towards A. They've just got some kind of read here. And to some degree, they're correct. Zekken was opening towards mid, now he's picked up Heaven. You know, they are hitting the weaker site.
Texture sees the barrel. Oh my goodness, what a timing for the ult. Rips away the knives, and now Texture, weak as anything, declawed in the mix. Has to back away and hide.
That might have been based off a flash that Munchkin threw over towards A. Are they expecting this on B?
There's Nana swarms.
Look at the minimap.
What the hell is going on here? Still, the adjustments there with the flick of the wrist. And Gen G again left scrambling.
There's 15 seconds left and they don't want to survive.
Don't want to keep these into the next round. I mean, Texture's got nothing. You don't keep the blade, so you don't keep the ult. Flash, pop through round and aside here. Spamming and spraying. A reload, no punish. 5 seconds left. Plant online. Maybe enough. Maybe enough. It's going to be going down to the wire. And they do get that continuation. And Meteor gets the kills. Added concatenation, man. Round to the back. It's watched for. Texture will get shut down. And flanks on flanks need to be managed. Paranoia now. Doesn't break the door down, but both players blinded. That is perfection, immaculate placement. Meteor with 32 health, and nothing but dreams will be fading away. The Sentinels win a rather scrappy turnabout round.
I've been praising the macro from Gen G all match, but that one, boiled the carrots for too long. Now
Oh, yeah.
turned it into mush. I think they could have played it a little more simply. I mean, Munchkin almost gets an opportunity to get in there, but Zekken makes up for it with a gorgeous refight with the operator. And he's frying, by the way. If you want to talk about individuals, Zekken's looking just as good as he did when he played this map previously. And Antec's just not really finding those openings as easily.
Of course, it's harder when you're the attack side Jet. I mean, you have to be set up with util. Not going to be favored into a lot of those fights, but
also it's texture.
exactly. You kind of expect more from him. Here's a fast play though, Texture. This time not shying away. There's a dart over the top that sets us up on either side here. Texture now is into the site. He's worried about backside. Still, he could seek to deny. There's no one watching the back here of Zekken, but he does dash away and out of the fight here with the smoke. Covering it, 4 players spotted. Good information here for Sentinels, but Texture again needs to be this playmaker.
Karen teleports in over towards lane, only with 30 health, and they use the lockdown as well, but look at the lockdown positioning. It denies mid and market. It's so good for keeping control of side. Karen dies, but he'd already stuck that plant.
Zekken will get detained, will slow them down just a tad here with the plant down. A potential difference making. Look at Lakia's position. Again, he's got that Hunter's Fury. He's going to be waiting for the right time to strike. Same with Meteor. Takes up that space, but he was blind as anything, and John QT, a little bit delayed, but eventually getting that trade. Hunter's Fury now is being used proactively. 2 tags, no kills, though. Damage being done. The back side players, they need to be dealt with. Hopping through with the flash. Texture, putting them down side by side. Tens will follow through. Time has run out entirely. And another's been bought here with all of these plays. Gen.G barely pulling that one out from the jaws of defeat.
I really can't believe that Lakia decided to send that Hunter's Fury instead of playing for the time, because time seemed like it was the biggest asset on Gen.G's side. That ended up being the deciding factor anyway. I was worried there for a moment. That aggression from Meteor is so classic to the way that Gen.G love to play as well. The Pacific teams, Paper X, do this too. Not happy to just fall into backside B when they play the post plants, always looking to contest.
If they think they've got that timing, they will take it.
Okay, so Gen.G get their 3rd on the board. A recon looking to push away Zekken if he was playing around mid.
Very mobile though.
Yeah, he got smoked off, and now he's going to pick up mid at the same time as the recon dissipates.
Seen a player move over towards Cat here. It's going to be called out. At least it should be that awareness. Double tap. They can't hit it. No way. No way. Tens. My God, man. And the follow-up, the backup arriving in the form of an ultimate. Couldn't have been better.
You give him an inch, he'll take a mile. They just whiffed on him for a moment, and he readjusted his aim and took down 2. He looked completely caught there. The game plan worked for Gen.G. It's just they just couldn't land the shots in the moment. 2v3 though, and we've certainly seen Gen.G pull out rounds like this before, especially when SEN lose info around the map. You know, Karen could be in a position here where he just shoots them all in the back.
Yeah, reminiscent of Breeze. There was multiple scenarios where Sentinels threw away those player advantage situations because they didn't know where the enemies were, and now with the plant down.
Yeah, do they go for the ult? If you ult, you kind of have to just sit there and defend it.
Down online, that's what they were waiting for. Here's a lockdown, pushing the players out wide. Caron,
you have to defend
forced
this.
to make a play. Yeah, you do have to defend this here. He's not going to be detained from this spot. Here's it. Zekken not adjusting for that angle. Not even expecting it here. Now they have to worry about this crossfire setup, but John QT's halved already onto that defuse. Sassy responds with the fire, but here he does not know. Finally, shot dart fired. Sassy tapping, forcing out wide again. Lakia this time prevails.
Monstrous in the clutch. Time again. The enemy of Sentinels. They had a player advantage, but they had no information about where Gen.G had disappeared off to. Another great play for Tens that ends up being wasted somewhat by his team's inability to capitalize on those advantage situations, and Gen.G using other advantages, map control, info denial. They don't need the players online.
There's a fast play though, already setting up. Flash in hand alongside that dart. Texture might just be blinded fully. He's playing inside the smoke, he dominates it. Tends to be playing this one before, but with the Odin spam at least potentially evened out, but not quite. Lakia straight there in the fight. Side by side. Advantage now for Gen.G.
A massive advantage with John Cutie falling. That's all of that Killjoy utility over towards B that's disabled. SEN are going to have to make a proactive call here. They can't just wait this out.
Gen.G are just doing the exact same, waiting, hoping to catch that proactive call. It's a great read. Celsius might just walk and wade right into it. The crossfire of a century, and look at that, the call to 3, 2, 1, peek it down, tap, 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 second! Right back at you. He's got plenty more to deal with now.
Yeah,
he wants to make a go of it.
He's got 2, but might be too little, too late. He has read this, though. He might be able to get into spawn at the right timing to cut this off and get another for free.
Doesn't break the knife, actually, yes, and he's got the dash back online.
You just don't think logs here, though. You just never think about that.
Don't expect it. It's going to have to be reactions and adjustment potentially there. Still close to the corner. Jiggling from Lakia. Decides to take the timing and a fight right to him. So 5 to 5. Even up now again for Gen.G. And this is a really good spot for them. Attack side of Ascent. We've got to imagine it plays out a lot more typically.
Sentinels going for their first piece of defensive set play aggression there. And it's dominated. They already used this. It was round 6, I believe, the last time they played on Ascent. And TenZ that time was able to get into the smoke before his opponent, dominated it, and got the win. This time, Texture just a little faster, just a little sharper. SEN knocked down onto an eco and going for another set play by the look of things.
Have to take risks here. I mean, when your money's so dire, if you're letting Gen.G take the lead on their attack side. Ooh, missing the silent jump up. Second, it's giving an indicator.
Good awareness, though. Here. Yeah, it doesn't do any damage, but it indicates that Zekken is not going to get away with his Bucky play.
Movement, enough to survive, doesn't even use the dash.
One of those rounds that Gen.G would love to keep clean. While there's a little moment in the round as well, 5 rounds on our attack side, Ascent is looking pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
It has been somewhat even. SEN have, in fact, actually been pretty good on the attack side, too.
Up through mid. Gap is spotted here by Gen.G. Now a fast play. Approach. Trying to slam into these anchoring players, but it's on them to try and hold their ground. Sentinels standing side by side here, but again, the weaponry just not ideal for the job. Now, Texture feeling it necessary to really clear through a lot of that. Hello, Karen spotted and an upgrade here for the anchoring players. Again, close, tuck to Dice, but there's no trade and no swings. The anchoring players out back here with the Sheriff. John QT, but not expecting it away with the Bucky! Gaming! No! Can't land the shots. Damage done to it. 10 set up. It's a 1v1. And such an important one at that. The money was dire. 10s. 6 bullets accounted for! Exactly what he needed.
Another miracle. Ritualistically brought down by the crowd, willing it into existence, I think. How are they doing these?
No shot.
What a timing. To be honest with you, I thought it was over when the Bucky didn't deliver those 2 clean one-shot kills.
I mean, I'm shocked that Zekken didn't one-shot them.
Yeah, he was so close, but still able to finish one of them off. The other week, TenZ wins a 1v2 towards the end after opening things up. So many rounds like this. It's a Red Bull clutch, but it's also economically upset the tide.
Ever so slightly for that final round, but still the knives online for Texture. Bit of Odin spam, got to respect that one with the dart coming through. Counterplay in order. Lakia not to be dissuaded away from it. He's going to be earning his ult as well.
And Sentinels have got to be thinking about the fact that Texture would love to do some kind of updraft dash engage into B now that they have B main control. So, you know, you're playing retake B at this point because you don't want to challenge that. He's got knives. But you've also kind of set up for a bit of a retake A approach. Now TenZ and Zelsis looking to re-explore perhaps.
Right here.
Pinging out the alarm bot, important. Gen.G have to make sure that nobody followed that drone up.
Walking up now, Sassy. It's all about when you pick your time. Is a counter spam. Almost gone down potentially there with the damage down, and out of here with the drone. Everybody lit up, but the shot goes wide and just goes a miss. Second though, he's still alive in the fight here, but a TP into the back of the site now. There is that danger facing, but cancelled. Only 30 seconds left. What is the call to be made? The reposition back and away. Hunter's Fury. And Lakia's hoping to set this one up for the rest of the team. They're going to pivot. They're going to A. 20 seconds indecisive.
They're going back to B.
Running back to B. Counter be making plays like this, man, but maybe just getting hectic in those final moments. TP engaged, Meteor! He's looked his way in. Damage done, and another kill found. It's all being added up. Right click. Kills here. Needs to stick in. Right click. Gamble incorrect.
Oh, the body block!
Oh my god.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Telsis 1v2, 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 rushing entirely into it.
I don't think I've seen a round that chaotic the entire tournament. Gen.G didn't know where to end. What a way to finish that half. They pulled it out of the back of Meteor getting in. Tens went for an alt play, cancelled it for info, got caught, and then they have to body block Caron to avoid him being caught by Zekken. Look at them getting in front of the Classic. Ludicrous. Munchkin, you crazy little raccoon, how have you done that?
6-6, that's where we stand here on Ascent. Absolute insanity, but standing by on the floor, some of Sentinel's biggest fans.
It's another great half of Valorant here in the grand finals, and I got two very special guests with me here. It is Tens' mom, Valerie, and Sassy's wife, Sophie. Welcome to the grand finals. Now, every map has been so close so far. They were so pumped on stage when they won Bind. I wanted to know what was going through your mind when they managed to close that out. I'll start with you, Sophie.
It's crazy, actually, but it's a 6-6. We're even. I think we got it.
Oh, I like it. I like it. What about you, Valerie?
I was a little nervous, but I feel good, and I think they got this. I think they're bringing the trophy home. I could feel it.
Oh, well, it's been, 1,029 days since Tens first brought that Masters trophy home. So tell me, what's it been like to follow his journey and support him all the way back to the top?
It's amazing, entertaining. I love it. I'm in awe of him all the time. He's awesome.
We think so too. Come on, guys, give it up for Tens. Come on, come on. And for you, Sophie, you won there in Istanbul when Sassy became a world champion. So what are your emotions right now to know that he could potentially win a trophy here with you in the audience?
I think if we get the trophy, it's gonna be a really step up in his career, and the boys are amazing. I love them all, and let's go Sen!
Come on, you guys know what to do. Sentinels! 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 Well, let's see if Sentinels can close this one out on Ascent.
Crowd certainly rallied up here. Right behind Sentinels, trying to get it done.
And a reminder, it is only Tens returning to the final stage for Sen, but Sassy also making his third time here, both looking for another trophy. An elite group. There's only 5 players, I believe, who've been able to lift the trophy twice, and they would be looking to join them, Tens and Sassy. We've also never had somebody win a Masters and a Champions before.
Sassy, he ended up overcoming this round finals against the demons that is Gen.G. Would be the first player to ever do it.
Pretty incredible.
We spoke about the importance here, getting the rounds up online, sent with these compositions, you know, by all metrics, from what we know, it's not an attack-sided map.
Standing ahead.
That puts even more importance now onto this pistol round for Sentinels.
And I think, again, I'm looking at the Gen.G defensive rotations and how John tries to play with those. Because Gen.G are just so happy to trust the read. Look, I mean, at the beginning here, Caron getting info in A main. Oh, like he's going to start calling people back over towards B. They were thinking it was A.
He's out open. They could be fast onto him, but they're not really going to be quick enough here. Just waiting for the drone now with a shock dust through as well. A lot of damage. Tagged him up. Zekken. Slight pause into the play. Slight pause into the angle. Waiting now. What is the call from the rest of them? A flash play into the back here, but they're just waiting for the right time to strike, potentially, but now jumping right, leaping into his face. And there it is from Gen.G. Calling their bluff. They want to fight it. The front section of that side of Paranoia is good, and it blinds them all up. 3 players tucked to the site now for Sentinels, and they still don't have that plan down.
I feel like as soon as Zelsis goes for it, Gen.G are going to explode, and he thinks the same.
A dink, stray damage. It could come down to anything. A few stray shots now. Paranoia flying forward, still no spike being planted. One-way smoke.
30 seconds left.
Oh, Caron? Has he got a pixel? No, not quite.
No, not quite at all, but waiting for it. Now the knife. Takes away the abilities, takes away the threat of this one, and as the turret's getting broken, they swing right into it, Gen.G. Surely not, they're doing it again. Wonderful, wonderful patience. And capitalizing off the right moments there.
Certainly. They look great with it. As soon as Sen put pressure on the player backside, that is instantly turned into texture dashing into a smoke to take front sight. So as soon as they know that Sentinels are focused not on them, they go and get themselves into a retake situation and start putting pressure even before the plant is down. They are looking good. Taunts being thrown across the stage. And a great way to open this up on the defense side.
Yeah, Gen G going to be really quite happy with this one.
It's all the fundamental stuff. The timing is excellent, they're confident, and they're doubling up together in these moments.
Disrespectful from Zekken. Tagged up by the knife, but still decided just to take that fight close to them.
You're hoping that Gen G players were not posted on an angle and trying to take a fight aggressively, when actually I feel like that's the way that Gen G plays. They're not afraid to try to challenge angles. They're not the kind of team to just drop back and keep giving up room over and over again for free. They like to disrespect utility a little bit and post up.
Clear game plan here though from Sentinels on their eco. Can use a flash to re-clear into A main, make sure that the orb gets loaded up there onto Celsius. He's only a few away from his ult, so they're just thinking ahead here into this round.
Yeah, but they are still quite a way away from this. Right? Because there wasn't any damage in this round particularly, Celsius is still going to be 3 away from getting that online. It's not particularly going to be helpful. At least not in the short term, I should say.
Yeah, now they're going to be hoping for a bit of a plan here, but a Paranoia sent flying, TP forwards, lighting him up. Charon, 20 HP surviving, strenuous in the approach, but look at that, just a collapse. Straight into the fragment nade and the bullets. Sent flying, so flawless, everybody surviving for Gen G.
Beautifully done. Now this is where I want to see what Gen G have got planned. You see Texture buying the operator when the rest of his team is going for the bonus. It's not too crazy, lots of teams that end up going for that. But do they have a game plan to set him up? One of the other things that stuck in my head actually from listening to an interview from HSK was that he said one of the things they've tried to focus on is snowballing the game by utilizing their aim and aggression. Right? Not by trying to make smart game plans necessarily, but by putting pressure on their opponents, by wanting to fight in moments like these. And Texture looks like he wants to take the op for a walk off the back of Sova utility. That's great information, knowing exactly where John is. You don't have to be worried about other sight lines.
He's really worried. Turret broken. John, still in the lineup here.
He almost got caught, didn't he?
Almost got caught, but look at it. I mean, the dash still active. Texture can smell it, blood in the water.
That's the same pace and anticipation problem that I was noticing before. Gen G are quite a bit faster than Sen expect.
Bus used to just try and cross Sentinels now. Scurrying away, trying to take control of A, but then there's a Paranoia. Goes flying, actually missing onto Sassy. No clear connection, but he still maintains control of A main control.
Yeah, 10's caught. Sassy dropped as well. This is looking like a monstrous bonus.
I mean, this is beautiful for Gen G.
Sen never had an inch in this. Never had an opportunity. You had both of the Flash players, Karen and Munchkin, looking to lock down Tree. And even as Sen tried to make some approach in that department, Tens was the only player A main, threw a Paranoia, got caught in a smoke, and it's over at that point. You're in a 5v3, it's just done. He just wanders into this smoke, assuming that Karen must be focused on Tree, because that's where he threw the Paranoia. And again, the anticipation from Gen G is just so much better. They throw the Paranoia and they're like, right, this is the timing that the A main player is going to take. Let's stop them. The awareness is so good. And again, from a player, Caron, who has not been a pro before joining Gen G.
It's insane.
He played on an amateur team, and basically, that was a long time ago. He frankly just got picked out of ranked.
Ranked player on the big stage, but he's really performing. Unshaken against it. Flash re-peek. Caron knows to respect that one. He's going to be using the TP just to get the hell out of there. And a call is made again from Gen G. All stacked up.
Yeah, look at them. I mean, Meteor is already starting to rotate away from B. I'm so confident this is going to be an A exec.
Probably util expended here, though, with the dart fading away. Caron shuts that down, doesn't he? Tens forward at the Sheriff, but again, not too much you can do, not without the rifles.
One enemy remaining.
Sassy weakened down. Full awareness of the positioning here. This is Gen G, not just in control, they're running away with this map.
It's Gen G's map pick, but it's one where Kaplan earlier in the coach interview said they were feeling very confident coming out of their game against Paper X. And the implication there that the desk picked up on is that they were going for a 3-1 win by winning on bind, ascent, and split. This is looking less and less likely the more rounds go on. I want to see John start messing with the defensive rotations. It's not something we've really seen. You need to be faking at least half as much as your opponents are over-rotating. And so far, they're nowhere near.
Texture seeking out to ruin them here with a flash. Okay, return of the fire. Zekken, right back at you with the nades, rebounding. Meteor dodging over and around. No way. Zekken was blind as anything. Dashed forwards to try and punish, but Meteor is tucked into this corner, and there should be that punish online. Karen seeking to relieve it. Zelsa's dropped down onto his knees. I mean, is there going to be any chance of even just a res to pull him back
It's
up?
going to get punished. They need to be aware.
Surely picking him up. Zelsa's there, but no. Spamming through the wall, but no kill collected. John QT.
What a play.
Meteor cosplay in effect. This guy is found the gaps and more. And another one to the collection. Sight opened up right when the team needed it.
That's incredible. What a read by John. Getting himself tucked into logs because Meteor went down early and that was open to them. Huge play. Not exactly running a fake, but just challenging Gen G for the map control and beating them. I don't think TenZ is going to survive this interaction. But
oh, yes! Never doubt him.
Well, I'll shut my mouth. Not the world's most important kill, but a funny one to end it. There was a bit of a disaster in the middle of that round, though, with Zekken getting full blinded. Was that a team flash, or what
Looks
even
like
happened here?
Perhaps.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a team flash play. He just full stares at Zelsa's flash. Bit weird, but didn't really hurt them whatsoever. John bailing them out of that situation. Not necessarily with his macro calling, but with a great solo play. Reading the game.
The bankroll runs deep here for Gen G. Sentinels that need to dig even deeper.
It's a spread default to try to start the round. Not over-investing over towards A, but certainly making it feel like A, right? And this is where you start to see the defense pulled towards that A defense. It's only luckier over towards B. But now as there's a little bit of mid-pressure, you see things shifting around, and Texture with an operator looking to take that pick through mid.
Directly down mid, they might just walk into him.
Texture's quick. Is he there before Zekken? It looks like it.
And now he's found the timing. It's just so damn instinctual! And again, a difference maker. Zekken. He's left Texture reeling. Back-to-back rounds now.
That is a ludicrous swing. Perfect pre-aim. I mean, pretty much a pre-fire, I think. There's no time to react to that. He just knows exactly where the jet is going to be set up.
Grouped up, gathered. Lakia. The shock dart. Here's that one now at a close. No,
almost got it.
John, yeah, it was a critical target. It needs to stay alive with the lockdown now in play. What is the call to be made? Gen G, how do you fight this one? Split up across the map here. I mean, it's just really only Munchkin, and they're just trying to get Lakia out of there. Hunter's Fury through and out into the spawn, into the location. 12 seconds left. They need to get this spike down and planted. Maybe to push this one back and away, but Gen G, they're out of there.
It's only John in an aggressive position in the post plant right now, and Sassy's miles away. Doesn't have that ult to work with.
Doesn't indeed.
He's not going to have shock dart lineups from there, so he needs to find some way of having impact.
Start clearing the paranoia here. Still close quarters enough. It has revealed, and they have cleaned him up. With John down, finally a kill found. Second. Not going to be blinded up by that one, but still emanating out with waves of the suppression. He's dropped to his knees. Meteor, last one left, unless he can get Munchkin back alive. A tap. Fading out the spray here. 3 players left out in the open. Sentinels running over them.
That was a difficult situation there. John getting caught in his aggressive position. Sassy way out of the fight. Zekken needed to step up, and he did it. This opener is sublime. And then he also follows up by being able to punish Lakia and to stop Munchkin. It's an amazing round from the star player of Sentinels. I say the star player. One of, the superstar.
Plenty to pick from. Plenty to pick from.
So SEN is still making a go of this, even though Gen G are in the lead.
In the lead. Arguably still favored, but they are starting to put a dent into that economy for Gen G. The lost round here. Gen G vital for Sentinels. They're
It
going
looks
to be
like-
hoping for a flash repeat.
Yeah, another jet duel.
Dash just fades away. They're going to be using util of their own now. Paranoia even layered on top, spamming away. An exchange of lead. No casualties.
Gen.G not over-rotating this time. Keeping a couple of players in mid, realizing that it's not a full commitment from SEN here. They're just fighting for map control. You could consider this a win, though, for Sentinels, because they're going to be going into a site that only has 3 players on it.
Yeah.
And that's assuming they commit to A.
Munchkin gathering that information. As the nade ready here, as time runs short, John QT, hello. Flash forwards on top of it here, but backing away, will get cleaned up eventually. The air is sprayed down. Fragment, nade, texture, and Munchkin all combined. And they have shut down his approach.
Tens with ultimate is going to try to get into the B site and get the
Got
plant
it
down.
Yeah, it's an open site for him. Still rapid.
Sassy get there?
Approach. Sassy, he's picked them apart. Texture onto that rotation, but he's alone now. Tens is going to do a hell of a job to try and hold on to this one. Kieran sticking, no way. Up onto it, just gets that information. Now 2 players assaulting the position slowly, surely.
Sassy's so far away.
He needs so much, he needs so much here. Sassy is miles away. Reinforcements are lacking. Kiya seeking to disjoint it. That dart, it was fantastic though. Still playing inside the smoke. Kiya shuts it down, but time has been bought. A tap, Sassy. Does he think it's open to the fuse? Spamming away. Counter spam from Munchkin, sticking from Lakia. Full defensive setup. 11 now on the board.
It's a nice try there with that dart, seeing if he could assist Tens while still being positionally a long way away. I think it wasn't quite planted in the spot where he was able to get the wall bang down. It's this triangle set up again over towards A, stopping Sentinels getting in on the A splits. It looks really nice from Gen.G. Anytime Sen have tried an A split, the A main players have not been able to have any impact. Yeah. They're just sending a drone in there and they can't actually push the players from Gen.G who are killing the people on cap. The A splits are being defended immaculately. But look at this, Sen are so convinced that this is going to be defensive aggression in this round. They know that Texture had to pop knives. And they are ready for the Hunter's Fury play, a classic set play that teams would love to do.
Really far back.
Has pulled 20 seconds off the clock here.
With how time has been playing an issue for Sentinels. It's little moments like that that might make the difference in the round. Grouped up now with Texture. Fast rotation to try and back up the rest of his team out towards the A site.
Love this positioning from Lakia as well. If he stays over towards Market, he'll have a perfect ult line, but instead he drops back towards B. Spotted people in mid and maybe just worried that it could be a B split.
50 seconds.
Time certainly is ticking here.
Decisions need to be made. I mean, you haven't pulled out good util from Gen.G. They can just stall you out. Right, they're going to be showing some presence, but with the knife tags, it's a Zekken.
It doesn't give you too much info. It could be a cat push, could still be a B split.
They're going to get destroyed, but they're trying to fake A presence, perhaps. I mean, the spike is in the middle of nowhere, and certainly they are fast. It was Zekken. He's rapid on the uptake. Texture, even more so. And the Hunter's Fury to punish. Alarmbot chasing them into the top section of mid. That's Tens. He's got to try and get some value in. He's got to try and get some kills.
The lockdown.
It's really just absolutely brutalized them, slowed them to a crawl. They can't break it. They have to fight it. Tens here onto the angle again. They're swarming into the position, and behind them, Texture rips them to shreds, rips them to pieces.
Has to stick.
And there's no chances, not anymore. Gen.G up to 12.
You watch what Texture does on defense. It's so good. He gets pressured here with the paranoia, instantly updrafts, kills the player, dashes forwards to re-fight that. And he immediately notices it's a fake. If he dashes away there, they don't get the info, and those B players might not have stayed on B. But because Texture is so confident to take the fight, to dash forwards, to look for the others, he gets to come to the rest of his team. This is Cap, guys. They ain't coming.
Absolutely. It's looking disastrous, to put it lightly, here for Sentinels on this map. Now, of course, it's not like the whole series weighs on there, but I think that every single map matters, and especially early on, you know, going back to what we were talking about. I mean, Kaplan in that coach interview saying they felt comfortable in the earlier maps in this series, Ascent being one of them, Split coming up. And it's Icebox, that territory where it gets a bit messy. If Gen G end up taking this map, they're forced to win out on Split just to continue that series, and then they will be forced to play on Icebox.
And bearing in mind, Gen G beat them 13-5 on Split, dismantling them. And does Gen G look like they've taken any break today? Does Texture look like he isn't performing incredibly today? I don't think so. The SEN players themselves shooting back a bit more, but I think they're also just getting outplayed. The teamwork, the way that Gen G are playing off each other, and their confidence is just getting them so much more info to play with on their defense side. This defensive ascent has been lovely to watch. Certainly feels like there could not be a better moment for Pacific to pick up their first ever global trophy. And Gen G, if they get this one step forwards on ascent, they'll be one step closer to hoisting it.
On the precipice. In through mid, that's Sentinels. All eyes on that now. Second with the knives. Grouped up as well. Might be looking for a flash peek through. Drone. And forwards here, just showcasing. Oh, doesn't break it in time, so it actually spots both players, and they're already up through mid as well. Paranoid misses, Texture. Clean shot, rips it away, and this is Dreams being dashed out and away. John QT, maybe a chance. Turn with the one kill, but it's still a player disadvantage, and they don't know where the rest of them are. Into the corner, hello, finding Lakia. 3 versus 3, Munchkin going, walkabout. Celsius dropped dead to rights, 2v2, still Spike in the open. And a control gained and gathered. Munchkin follows through with the fire. Doubled up now, understanding the win con. Smoke to block it off. It's all on Sassy.
They know he's not close. Karen is actually looking the other way too. They've split up to form 2 1v1s. Could Sassy be given anything? He just doesn't expect them coming from spawn.
No, there's no way you expect this, and this could be it. This should be it. The map done and dusted. Gen G edge ever closer to that title, ever closer to that trophy. But it's not done yet. The job isn't finished.
They said that themselves when they won the upper bracket final. Just because we won here, they said, doesn't mean that the job is finished. But they're in a great spot.
They're in a fantastic spot. It's yet to be seen if Sentinels can fight back. Don't go anywhere. You know you don't want to miss it.
Excuse me, would you mind taking a picture of us?
Oh, no problem.
Thanks.
Yes, problem. You need Verizon. Trade in that old thing and get a new iPhone 15 Pro with tons of storage, so you can take all the pics. So many selfies.
A preposterous amount of panos!
That means panoramic. And as many portraits of me as your heart desires.
How about none?
None, yeah, none feels right.
Trade in any iPhone in any condition and get iPhone 15 Pro and iPad and Apple Watch SE all on us. Only on Verizon.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Life fancy bad livings, try and make it lemonade. Easy on the sugar cane, switch it to agave. Gave it all I had, love. I can't do agape. My conditions written out. Take it up with God, hey. You can make me for my smile like it's August. Seeking answers, all I found is. If everybody jump right now, will the world cry? Feel the bang in your head like it's whiplash. Can you feel that? All this back and forth to be free. But you can't tell me what's good for me. Everybody jump right now with the world crack. Feel the bang in your head like it's whiplash. Do you feel that? All this back and forth to be free. You can't tell me what's good for me. You can't tell me what's good for me. You can't tell me what's good. Everybody moving scared. Don't know what the answer is. Told myself I say the word. Speaking like a prophet did. Shit just feel like stranger things. Upside down and overwhelmed. Chaos just to set you free. Chaos just to set you free. Deep down, still in doubt. Hold a smile like it's all good. Seeking answers, all I found is you. Look, man. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing either. All I know, I'm doing what's right for me. That might not be right for you. You can't tell me what's good for me. You can't tell me what's good for me. You can't tell me what's good for me. You can't tell me what's good. You can't tell me what's good for me. You good for me. You can't tell me what's good for me. You can't tell me what's good. You can't tell me what's good. If everybody jump right now with the world crack. Feel the bang in your head like it's whiplash. Can you feel that? All this back and forth to be free. Cause you can't tell me what's good for me. If everybody jump right now with the world crack. Feel the bang in your head like it's whiplash. Can you feel that? All this back and forth to be free.
Gen G is just one map win away from making history. Not just for Korean Valorant, but for the Pacific region as a whole. It would be absolutely monumental if they were able to pick up this win, but they still have one more map ahead of them here, and that would be Split that we're going to be seeing in a moment. And oh boy, this could go either way.
But I think Gen G is on the course to win a trophy. They have two maps coming up where they have looked great thus far. That Ascent win could have been the make or break in this series.
Yeah, undefeated on Split so far here in Madrid, and they've taken down Sentinels, the ones we hyped up as the best Split team in the world. It would almost be poetic to close it out on Split.
Well, let's talk about some of the great ideas that we were seeing from Gen G, because honestly, it just feels like Munchkin Mike is just making some brilliant calls, and on top of that, the plays have just been immaculate.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a perfect example here. Just a real slow burn pistol round. There's two opportunities for this to actually slow down and go back into Sentinel's favor, but Gen G just make the right decisions time and time again. There's a second freeze here where actually in the post-plant situation, they wait for the turret to come back up. It's just so composed.
I think the way that Gen G plays like pace is like no one else in this tournament. They can have rounds like this where they slow down twice, they take these pauses, they force their opponent to make a move, and then they have rounds where when they have an advantage, they're pressing it, they're going hyper-aggressive, they're relying on the aim. They're so good at breaking the timings, but also going back to playing this super standard style of Valorant that just makes them so hard to call against.
Yeah, it has to be the most difficult thing for John and Kaplan to have to make these plays work against a Gen G squad that just seems to have the playbook.
One round you're playing against PaperX, and the next round you're playing against a better DRX.
Yeah, no, real talk. That really is a great way to break it down. Of course, though, one player that we have to highlight as we, well, could maybe see him make history here for the region. It's Lakia, who, you know, he's been in these positions before, but now not like this. This is going to be monumental for this young man who's able to pull this off.
Yeah, in particular, I mean, he comes under flak occasionally, but here he's the second leg to kind of Munchkin's mid-rounding. The way that they use his utility in these reclearance, being proactive, we come back to that composure as well. Their ability to swing mid-rounds back in their favor. When they concede a first blood, nearing on 50% of a 4v5 conversion comes down to players like Lakia.
And imagine if he could win a trophy now. He was there when Korea had their next best placement at an international event on New Turn all the way back. He has been grinding since then.
Full
had
circle.
Multiple opportunities, joined DRX, it didn't go his way, went down to Tier 2, but now he's back in the Tier 1 in the first final that his country has ever made in Valorant with a real shot at winning it.
Yeah, I mean, look, the odds gotta be on the side of Gen G, and you can even see it in the poll. People are starting to come to their senses here. Don't get me wrong, I love Sentinels, but Genji's cooking.
Have Sentinels ever lost a Twitter poll?
Well,
Well, they're making a comeback now.
Oh, they're making a comeback
but
now.
It's going to be a lot harder for them to make a comeback in this server here.
This is crazy. The fans have no idea where this is going to go.
Yeah, it's wild. Sentinels honestly shouldn't be winning this because they're going into split. This has historically been their best map. They were excellent in Americas. They were dominating the early stages of this tournament, but Genji's on a 3-map win streak here, and they figured them out last time. The way they varied this place sent some really hyper-aggressive pieces with the Raze Jet double duelist combo. Took Sen by surprise.
And the concerning thing here is actually, I think we've been talking about a couple of times today, Genji have been the ones, the benefactors of controlling the pace. And that was the story last time. Sentinels just seemed 2 steps behind Genji every single round.
I think the biggest change for Sen needs to be on their defense, doing a better job of handling Genji's disruption.
Yeah.
What they were doing so well was fighting forward and shutting down Sen's set retakes. If they can't make that change, if they can't come back on a map that has been their best, Sentinels will be out and Genji will hoist that trophy.
Will we go to a map 5? I know the crowd wants it. We want it, but let's go ahead and see if we get it. Bren, Sideshow, the floor is yours.
For our 4th map here in the grand finals, it's up to Sentinels to really steal their hearts. You gotta imagine despair settling in. Think about it, Genji with a better rhythm on this map. I mean, split that used to be the bane of many teams when they were up against Sentinels. People arguing, why didn't they fight back? Why didn't they ban it?
Yeah. But I mean, you look at what Genji have been able to do this tournament on split. It's been fantastic. Early ramp take to start this one off. Paranoia being thrown, countered as well. Everyone blind.
No way, Tenz, he can't get away with the kill.
Okay, but Sen also realized that that's a bit of a fake. It's not everybody in that area.
Second gets off the line for just a moment, and now he's going to be faced with an absolute onslaught. They rush his position in still, walks away with 2. Return of the fire. Sen not leaving anything to chance. They want to try and funnel and rotate everybody towards him, but yet still Genji are played right into their hands.
One enemy remaining.
There's no help.
Low on health indeed. Meteor forced to scatter and back away. I mean, we are talking about the opening 35 seconds here. And now grouped up side by side, looking to put a pistol round on the board.
Sen are getting antsy here, though.
John QT out wide, Tenz wide face! And definite chances, but Sentinels, necessary beginning here for this map on split.
It definitely is. That's a great opening. And you saw from the very beginning, a lot of actually Genji's attack side. The last time these two teams faced was dominated by A-ramp fights.
Yeah.
And kind of that fight over A-heaven, actually even in the post plan. So Tenz uses the paranoia instantly to try to stop anyone from scaling. They realize that instead it's coming through mid. Zekken does an amazing job of picking up 2.
Got to remember, this is still Sentinels before getting smacked around by some of the APAC teams. Still one of their better maps here. They might just try and jump onto this one, but Celsius spotted out, backs away, not getting caught out into the open. Still, a few stray shots in. One of the key real win cons for Genji I found as well when you were revisiting, the split map when they last clashed and played against one another was Celsius kind of getting caught out in the open. On top of those mid fights, or at least the A-ramp fights that you were talking about earlier, Josh.
Yeah. I mean, in the previous time these two teams faced, they tried to set up a high-low in mid and just dropped the orb and faced into 4 players.
Yeah.
It was brutal. This time, not going to go for something that risky on the follow-up after the rifle, after the pistol.
Have given up a lot of space, though, to Cam. Spotting out the tippy toes.
And this is a very classic position for John's Cam. Genji are going to know that. They break it. Zekken's the only player here. He's got to get safe before the wall goes down. And Munchkin, almost getting caught in mid, will die to Tenz.
I might be looking to swarm here, just a wide face and peek. John is under attack, and finally he's going to have some reinforcements just allowed into the side here, but everybody survives. Could have got dangerous, could have maybe got expensive, let's say.
Oh, but it's a good, clean finish for Sen. John Cuty's been fantastic in an anchoring spot. Tenz always sends a really nice smoke, and John's got cages he can play around, traps to catch people. It's very effective.
Yeah.
What doesn't work is when they lose the early round fights right off the rip. Genji now with rifles on board, looking to try to dominate B main by the look of things. Meteor was acting a bit as the lurk. And it looks like he is again separated from the pack.
Good time for Sen to try and cook something up here in their bonus round, and fully grouped up this time. Nothing to chance, is it? Flash through, no connection with the orb dropping down. Well, not expecting it, but he does dash into the open. There is that follow-up. Now the reaction. Gen G fast on the approach. TP forwards by Karen, and they have cleared out that B site.
I do like the way that Gen G balance between pushing aggressively in post plants and waiting for the flood defense. This one, just waiting to see if there's a reaction from Sen. They know that the economy's weak, expecting the flood.
Danger spotted. Nade as well. He's stunned up entirely here. Sassy so fast of it. Zekken combining with that approach here out wide. Munchkin seeking to at least relieve that pressure and damage and offset that disadvantage. Still locked down onto the pillar angle. They wait, a pause, but now the paranoia allows him to play it a little bit deeper here. Smoke now, propped up.
Zekken is one. He's got to be healed.
He's going to top back up to a bit more health still. Gotta think Gen G, it all comes down to the way these fights get taken. Zekken from the side. Temple taken out of Charon inside the cage, dominating but cleaned up. Munchkin in the back, 1v1! No bullets, no chance! Munchkin with the sidearm saves the bloody day.
Well, that's an extremely expensive round again. Sen on the bonus, creating pressure, applying danger. Pretty disastrous dash there from Meteor, actually. Player who has really impressed me with how much smarter he seems than on previous teams.
Yeah.
And then grouping together to try to flush out these people one at a time. Just a little unfortunate that Zekken didn't have more loaded in the clip. That economic damage is going to mean one Guardian for Gen G, so it doesn't even have that much effect.
Potential for another large fight.
Now, Gen G were fighting over A ramp with 4 players a lot of the time, the last time that these two teams faced off. This one, though, a 1-1-3.
They pause, and now they make the play here with the paranoid just a little bit too delayed. Rocket up and over, up trap saves him, but not from the bullets. Meteor falling, damage done to texture. Nade nowhere close, so he will survive, and Lakia is in mid.
Yeah, look at this awesome response from Lakia, realizing that Sen have overcommitted to the A ramp fight. He takes all of this space.
He tells us he's not going to be expecting this, not going to be expecting this,
what
and still lands it.
What a flick, what a turn.
That is insane. Forced to pivot now for Gen G. He's not an option, so they go back to what has been working for them. They've been doing a lot of these mid-round calls. Group up, collected together.
I'm seeing
brute force and win these fights.
I'm seeing pings on the minimap, Bren, that indicate they want to push through B Heaven into spawn. I don't know exactly whether they're going to commit on that. The cam is going to spot them.
30 seconds left.
Just about. Snake bite, though.
Yeah, look at this. They're looking to try to take the fight towards stairs while Munchkin plants.
Has got a plan. He was trying to pit. Goes down entirely here. The trades online now for Sentinels. Obliterating any chance here for Charon to even stand toe to toe. He'd have to hit those shots, and he can't quite manage it.
A supremely better beginning to this map for Sen. Putting the pressure on Gen G, dealing, I don't know how, but dealing with Lakia coming through vent. Gotta see this again. Oh, what a flick. That's an outrageous one. If Lakia is able to get that, the whole round just pivots.
Yeah. All laughs in the Sen camp, not letting the stress get to them.
I mean, I assume that there was an amusing reaction from Zelsis in comms as well. He seems like the kind of player to do it. But that's broken Gen G. All of that damage from an expensive bonus round.
Here.
I don't want to count them out, but the economical advantage is massive for Sen, and they needed a hot start. They've got it.
You're right, we're feeling like you can't count Gen G out. I mean, this team made a name for themselves as well, just in qualifying for this event by winning so many of these rounds where they weren't expected to. Shouldn't be as much danger, but you never know. Molly's flying overhead here. Quickly into the approach here. There was a paranoia, and Pillar's close to it. Players getting beamed down and ran down. Showstopper rocket out wide with Zelsis falling. John QT left scrambling. He's trying to pick up these pieces. Pit collected and corralled now. It's only up to him in a 1v1 second. Maintains that composure and holds down the fort just when his team needed it.
What a savior for Sentinels. 9-3 to begin. After being rocked by Monyet, it was the only map where Zekken didn't look like the best player in the low bracket final. But this one was so dangerous.
Oh, yeah.
Texture did as much as he possibly could to make this one a win. John taking out Munchkin though, dropping the pit, set Zekken up for success. So much danger in that round.
Pumped up after that one.
There.
Gen G have just looked so crazy whenever they're at a disadvantage. In the series overall, they're still winning a third of the time when they're down a player. Never mind when they're on their eco, you know, that you can just never count them out.
Almost unheard of entirely. And again, it's a fast play from Gen G. They're going to get access and gained over towards that B site, but now a fight into the spawn. Texture spamming the appropriate angles. It's running and cutting at play, at work. That's purely just off of a read. Maybe even just a sound cue.
Yeah, great read, though. And now Texture looking like he wants to get put into the smoke, or at least avoiding this flash.
Texture's going to get valued. They're not going to clear him out as well. They topple and fall, and they collide right into him.
And that's more like what Gen G were up to previously. A great balance of sometimes waiting for the flood if they anticipate it, and then if they're not going for the flood, trying to disrupt the SEN retake. There was a lot of talk about how incredible Sentinel's retakes were. We were, at the beginning of this tournament, saying SEN, Carmine Core, retakes were amazing. At kickoff, Sentinels won 61% of their retakes. At Madrid, that's 24%.
It's gone right down.
It's plummeted to not even being a good retake percentage at all. Never mind a great one, an incredible one, unheard of one. So if SEN can get back to that kind of level and deal with Gen G looking to disrupt, there's a major win condition for them in this half.
Oh, but from Zelsis seeking to reposition. Now this is an unusual angle. You can get cleared very easily.
It's nice though if Zekken continues to make noise and distract.
Trailblazer clears him. Trailblazer clears him. He's in trouble, and yeah, more so than that, he's out in the open.
Really well done. Very diligent from Gen G. Zelsis is getting caught by a mid-stack again. Hoping just to be able to pick up a lurker. But look at Meteor again and kind of picking up that role as Sentinels re-push out through B main.
It's a good call to make here, but Sassy surely not favored into that one, and yeah, just backs away. Tens holding the angle for him, just over the shoulder. Offload those Seekers as well, giving him a good indicator now, but already getting a move on, a run now. Over towards A, fast sprint and fast in action. There are anchoring players. Zekken here, oh my goodness, almost claiming that one. It was a dink, drops him down to 10 HP. Meteor falling to the nade. Zekken still alive. Still playing towards the pillar with the help of his team with only 30 seconds left. What is the call now for Gen G?
There's very little time for them to work with. They're going into a stack. I mean, where's the win condition here? How do they get this?
Unlikely. It just looks so damn unlikely. Texture forward in his approach again, but there's no setup ready for it. Just satchels to his doom and defeat. Everybody picked apart. Spike drop down. No kill onto Charon. To get this plant down, maybe potentially Tens. Push. Just, yeah, pushing, ending, putting a stop to it.
Big round from Tens. Great shot with the Guardian to open things up. But I think what actually wins the round, I've been talking so much about how the Gen G look like they over-rotate. They trust the read. They believe in it. Follow the noise, that kind of stuff. SEN actually just hold their ground. They went for the B main exploration, got the kill, and they didn't gamble that it was going to be a B hit afterwards. They kept John and Zekken in anchor positions over towards A, and that's what paid dividends. Staying rooted, staying to the fundamental defense. And now Zekken's got a showstopper to work with. Could be incredible against a fast A push.
Fast ramp aggression, and you're right, there is going to be that showstopper ready and waiting. He just looks for the right time to strike, and that appears to be now! Rebounding across the wall, Lakia finish gap into the wall, maybe a chance for Meteor, but the knives just go amiss, all ran out. And so do the chances, really. Attempt to try and take this space still.
Love that smoke from Tens as well. Not something that they were previously doing, choosing to fight A ramp. But now just making sure Gen G have no opportunities to take this fight. And if they do, SEN tripled up, looking to drop the wall and take the fight on their terms. They missed the paranoia!
It's the paranoia! Texture! And Meteor! They combine their might, and Sentinels, no chance entirely! It's all gone wrong!
Brutal! That's the bungle. And I said I loved the fact that they were smoking it off and not taking the fight. Made me eat my words in about a second and a half afterwards as they just sent the paranoia, missed it, and ran in one by one. That's a tragic misplay, and looking so similar to what was hurting SEN on their defense in the upper bracket final. It's an advantage situation they're in. Yes, there is simply no need to make a play like that. They want to clear out a ramp, I understand, but you're just taking too many risks there. The paranoia doesn't clear out the lane fully, and Gen G are so ready for that. They punished Sentinels many times before. What a huge one for Gen G to be able to take. And frankly, against most teams, Sen would get away with that.
Yeah.
But Gen G are so sharp. Their positioning is so good over towards a ramp.
Despite that shakiness at the beginning of split, undeterred, Gen G have that economical advantage. Even the showstopper for Texture here should be looking at that 4th round on the board.
Texture got an amazing showstopper round against Sen previously by doing pretty much the same thing we just saw, stopping them fighting a ramp.
Its anchoring players are going to get tested.
It's unusual for Zelsis to be here on A.
Let's try and play around these smokes here, but with the wires taken out, he's pitting. Pitting early preemptive. Paranoia will not connect there. Where will the rocket go, though? That is the question. And fires it straight into Zelsis. He's dropped, and with that, the pit. It's an open side out, open still. Looks like a chance to take this fight, but they're not anticipating it. Meteor already up onto the high ground position, but Sentinel's not messing around. A rapid approach and a rapid retake of this one, but they are being cleaned up entirely as Charon is just plucking them apart.
Munchkin ready to stop anybody going through A heaven, but the players on site had already done his job for him.
Second.
Tries to make the most of it, but he's going to have no chances there. Gen G getting a couple of huge rounds back to back to put the squeeze onto Sen. After Sen had got such a great start to this map, which was exactly what they needed. Great read as well from Texture. That Zelsis would not be playing inside the ultimate because he's scared of the showstopper, and instead would be over towards elbow.
Yeah.
And even if Zelsis wasn't there, that's a spot that John loves to play in. John also, without the cage he normally uses to flood from CT into elbow, wasn't really able to help Zelsis there. Or perhaps had already used it earlier in the round. Sen are going to take a timeout.
Potential turning point, really. Not just the map, but maybe even the series. That's why Sentinels are taking their time with this one.
I mean, the pressure is already on Sen. We knew that they were at a disadvantage coming into this. Gen G earned that advantage by bullying Sentinels on 2 of the maps in the upper bracket final and cementing themselves as the leaders at Masters Madrid, but not the winners yet.
They know the job's not finished. That's why they're taking it 1 round at a time, because not just the hopes and dreams of their country. It's a Korean team, the furthest they've ever got in one of these international tournaments, going all the way to the finals, but Pacific as well. They've had 10 chances. This is the 10th one here that we're looking at in Masters Madrid at getting a title. And they've come close, don't get me wrong, but tumbled at the finish line many, many times.
Or some not even made it to the finish line, if we're going to talk about the Korean squads, right?
Yeah.
New turn, DRX, best was 3rd. Gen G already overtaken that and looking to lift the trophy.
This is that new era of Valorant that we're looking at. Teams being put together. Rookies filling up the pieces here. Shots going wide there from Meteor. No tag onto the damage, and it was definitely a threat of it. Celsius on the half armor.
I wonder if they can get a read that because Meteor faced mid, he's not going to be lurking a ramp.
Cover going out.
Sassy and Zekken are still trying to clear that, but this is as the B hit comes through.
Paranoia does connect it, at least onto the dog, but into the back of the site. He needs to exchange positions, and he will do so. Wrapping back away, but Gen G have nothing to do with this site now. They are fully rotating away.
But they're rotating without anybody taking space over towards A. And Zekken and Sassy cleared this out. You know, Sassy is perfectly fine facing ramp here. He knows he's not going to get punished. He's going to be able to hear some of this. Zekken's coming forwards to try to help.
50 seconds. Now Karen does have util as well. Paranoia going to be getting good information with that one. Respecting the position here. Sassy not eager to take that fight. Instead, doubling up. It looks like potential high-low setup. Yeah, it is indeed, with him playing up onto Heaven. Satchel forwards, cuts up the angle, flash repick. No, not through main. Adjustment necessary, and Second comes up with the Khud and more. With 4 ripped away.
I'm not sure if Zekken's asking the crowd to appreciate or telling Gen.G he can handle more of them.
Spike down A.
The flash play from Sassy cost him his life. Makes him look worse in terms of the stats, but it was exactly what his teammates needed. It fed Zelsis in through the back into heaven, and also allowed Zekken to try to contest the main players too. What a spray control. He's 17 and 7.
Leading the charge, doesn't even cover it.
Here.
Was dragging his team over some of these rounds.
Ren, the most rounds that Gen.G have dropped on Split this tournament is 8. SEN are looking good to maybe make it 7.
Add a few more to the tally perhaps, but maybe speaking too soon. We know how good Gen.G are.
And they're so good at, in the 4v5s.
Yeah.
But look at this. Sassy and Zekken realizing that if nobody's there, they can take the space.
Disrespect. Zekken knows if he gets one more kill, he's got a showstopper earned and available for him to just try and get out of the dodge.
The trip will give him the timing here to potentially make the play.
There it is, flash through. TP pass, broken. Backs to the wall, backs to him entirely. No way! The movement, the twists and turns. Looking like ballerinas out in mid.
Zekken goes from high to low, but Sassy's here potentially as the safety net to clean it all up.
Might be your time to strike, son. Step up to the line and really reward the rest of your team. There's 2 topple and fall texture soon after, and the movement, wide swing, wide face. Lead maintained for Sentinels. Vital, necessary, essential for it.
A relieved smile on the face of Zekken. No need for the replay, I don't think. After picking up 4 in the previous, look at that, hand on his head. Thought he'd ruined it. But his teammates were there to pick things up. Huge from Sassy, who gave his life to make Zekken's play work in the previous round. And what a read from SEN as well, that they can get away with that, because Gen.G group up so much in their attack side. They talked about that, they knew it coming out of the press conference after the upper bracket final.
Last round of the half. 10 seconds down already, and look how aggressive SEN are. This Trailblazer, I mean, it's so deeply pushed.
Yeah.
Constant information. I mean, Sassy is pushed entirely. He's given him the full information now, just calling it out to the rest of his team.
It looks like we're watching Gen.G on the defense, right?
It does.
Just believing in the read.
Taking that liberty.
Celsius cannot peek into that many players. But if you allow them to walk up mid, Zekken's death earned him a showstopper.
No way.
Sassy can't die here. He can't take that level of risk. He's just looking for the information.
Gen.G all eyes now on the B side. There'll be trips waiting for him. The nade should clear at least one layer of it. Smoke's now up with the paranoia through, and it's a call made to flood right back into it. The rocket damage done, but already texture right behind. Snaps back second. Shuts down the adversary, shuts down the nemesis. But does he anticipate this? Yes, he does. Movement sublime.
Another 4 kills and only 4 rounds on the board for Gen.G. SEN were held at 5 in their matches against both of the Pacific teams here. But they've broken through that and already equaled the max amount that anyone's taken against Gen.G here at Madrid. Zekken can feel it. 21 kills for this young player on the defense side.
Rallied and rejuvenated. 8-4, like you said, 21 kills, looking unstoppable truly here. Still a second half yet to happen and yet to be seen.
To all the people following us at home, I must take this break to show you all how incredible is the Spanish crowd that we are having right now on Madrid Arena. And for that, I'm going to use my mother tongue. Para toda la gente que tenemos aquí, amigos, sois un público maravilloso y vamos a demostrarle al mundo entero que como vosotros no hay ninguno. Así que quiero saber con quién vais. Primero, ¿quién va con Sentinels? Y ahora, ¿quién va con Gen.G? Amigos, vamos a dedicarle un aplauso a toda la gente que estáis aquí y también a los jugadores, todos juntos, lentito. Primero, uno, vamos. Sois absolutamente increíbles. para despedirme. Todos juntos, calentamos manos. Una ola, de abajo arriba. 3, 2, 1. ¡Arriba todo el mundo! Madrid, sois increíbles. Disfrutemos de esta gran final. Hagámoslo juntos, hagamos historia. Porque como esta final, no hay ninguna. Friends, on home, let's go back with this banger.
But the energy is palpable here in the Madrid arena. There's been mayhem, there's been madness, don't get me wrong. But Sentinels perhaps have done enough for them here against this Gen G team put together. It was Gen G that was standing on the precipice, really. They just needed this map to close it out and make history, carving out their own path. But maybe starting to feel that heat.
Sometimes in moments like this, it can just feel a little too real. The realization hits you, Texture, knocked down to only 20 health when that's combined with the Viper Wall.
Few shots flying, nade rebounding, but not expecting Meteor here with the damage. Done! Kills collected, all on top, and it's all added up as well for that Gen G advantage still. There are players low. Calling for the pause and around here for Sentinels, understanding the importance of it, not getting ahead of themselves.
Their map control is actually fairly good here, with Sassy watching behind. Lakia not getting punished for this re-exploration, but also finding incorrect information. That might drive people into Sassy. He's weak, but he has a sheriff.
Gen G have gone walkabouts themselves. What's the thought process here? Flash. Acknowledgement now, at least, that there's going to be players behind him, but Sassy feeling no real pressure, but now he's got to hear it. Jumping down into vents, they are just forcing the position and forcing the fight straight to them. Surely not favored into this one. 3v2, damage! And down, drop down to the players here. Single shot will do it. Texture survives. Spike. It's still in the hands of Sassy here, but he's got so much more to do. And does he hear the drop down? He does not.
That's a crazy round from Texture towards the end. Combined health pools, barely in the double digits. And yet Texture's able to weave around slightly. Pops ahead. Great resilience on show here for Gen G. Even though they're in the lead, with players that haven't been in this kind of position before, the closer you get to winning, sometimes the more the pressure mounts. I was wondering if these rookie players, or rather some of the players with less experience at the big level as well as Garon, might struggle in a spot like this, but certainly Meteor has not given up the confidence.
No. That's back immediately here in the jump spot. Himself is not seeing too much down. Ends up getting punished. Meteor, real chance for him to feast. We met though with a few shotgun pellets. Munchkin, really nice idea there and awareness, knowing that that could be a possibility. It's all being shut down, all being locked down.
Clean from Gen G, very clean. Second just trying to get the orb online, and he does. He runs away with it. Call that a silver lining, yeah. And Sen have got to be fairly happy about this.
Like, yeah, hello, knives out. What the hell is going on here? Realizing it.
Could go for a knife fight, why not? Second gets picked off, but Sen won't be too bothered about that. Another huge difference between Sen playing split in the upper bracket final and now. The vibe, the atmosphere, it's so different. They don't feel as timid, unconfident. Ten said that he was zoning out throughout the game. Couldn't really find good timings to be able to take his ones. Second got shut down. It's different, and yet Gen G are still keeping it within 2. They're such a dangerous squad, and it's on them to cook up some idea for this bonus round. What a weird wall from Munchkin over towards A.
This is bizarre. Different twist onto some of them that are being thrown out. Blocks up this angle. Meteor happy to jiggle it. They could have crossed onto either side here. Okay, there it is. Just spotting the one and now backing away. Munchkin. Did he miss that timing? Was he going to be aware of it? Meteor close now. Tucked to the corner. Trailblazer, any seek or attempt to punish this one. Might just be met pound for pound. 3 players grouped up mid. Also being explored here, but the first kill. Damage done. Meteor dash to disengage away. And Lakia.
They're going to get caught here.
Covering fire. You're right. They are getting caught in all sorts of positions with Charon falling. Zekken creeping and crawling. Whoa. Texture though, back at it again. It's not quite enough still. It's an overwhelming advantage now for Sentinels.
I'm watching for this again. Texture caught. So much value out of this position over towards Vents. Again, feels like a hard read from Sentinels to me. Baiting them into fighting over A ramp and then just creeping up mid with the contact play. Any time where you see Sen taking mid control without using Dog or Boombot, you've got to call it a hard read, in my opinion. They just know that Gen G love to group up heavily on sides of the map, and this is where you're finally seeing that adaptation, abusing the holes that Gen G cause by trying to stack players. It is difficult, though, because if you get the read wrong, you're just walking up mid into a crossfire. Meteor is now going to have an operator online.
Okay.
But he's holding very far back over towards A. It's not a position where you're likely to get too much value, at least not in the early round.
Looks like Gen G were setting up for a punish over towards B.
Yeah, and at the very
probably
least...
the Zekans one away from the ult.
Yeah, it also allows them to get good information behind Zelsis's orb, which he's put at the front of B main. And now as it goes down, Gen G knows that there's nobody over in this area of the map.
Clearing a push with the flashes out. It's a wide face, really wide face, but all the kills eventually being collected and traded there by Charon. Meteor, though, got a miss, though, to where these potential players could be. Good information, at least with the acknowledgement there. Trailblazer finding the target and the mark, but really chaotic situation. Pings on the map, though. Gen G are aware.
Yeah, and I don't think Gen G are actually going to think that it's a full commitment A heaven. You would expect Zekken to be with the play here because he's one away from Showstopper. He's the entry player. So the fact he was in market, I think, has scrambled Gen G a little.
Yeah, they're all over the place this time. Less trusting of the gut and wondering where the hell these players have got to. Tens almost going down there, out to the open. Meteor left to anchor now, and his position is being assaulted and swarmed. Paranoia is good. Shot missed. Going stray, still walks it down onto this angle, but look at it, they've just absolutely overpowered them.
Really beautiful attack side from Sen. Gorgeous calling from John Cutie, from the whole team. Contact plays. In the previous, contacting up mid to pinch the players over towards A heaven. This time, going for a semi-contact all the way through A heaven. Karen just caught a glimpse and gave up the game. We'll take a look at the replay as Luckier saves. Look how deep they are before Gen G get the read. And to me, the biggest strength of Gen G on defense is the fact that they get the reads. They either play aggressive or they re-clear in the mid-round or something to give Munchkin that gut feeling that he's going to make the right call. And I think you could see it on the minimap there. Gen G were so spread out. Even after they re-cleared B main, spotting Zekken with the Trailblazer in market was a real head-scratcher for them. Love what John Cutie's bringing out here. You can see that they've put in a lot of effort. And what a tight turnaround for Sen. They had to play basically the entire time since losing on Split. They haven't really had a break to work with.
No.
Gen G are the team that should have been able to pull adaptations out of it, but it's harder when you won. It's actually easier to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah,
truly. That seems like what Sen are doing.
Gen G now calling this timeout, seeking a few adaptations, because they're realizing that the map slipping away from their grasp. Sentinels holding this lead, looking more and more likely that this map 5 is just inevitable.
Now, map 5, Icebox, would be good news for Gen G, but a lot of it has to do with keeping up that spirit. I feel like it's difficult from the outside to understand just how much mental game there is involved in Valorant. If you lose your confidence, if you hesitate, it doesn't matter how good your game plan was, how good your ideas are. If you can't execute on them because you're feeling the nerves, feeling the pressure of the moment, you're going to let it all slip away. Exactly. So that's what I need to see from Gen G here. Even if they're not able to rebound on this map, which I'll be hoping they can, that they're at least keeping their heads above the water.
Toss the hesitation to the side here. Trust the gut, make the plays. That's what carried Gen G so far all the way to this grand finals. You can't lose your nerve here, not when you're at the finish line.
So this is the Viper wall now being put over towards B. That is a difference. Normally Zelsis has been putting in A and the orb on B.
Watch this.
But it doesn't look like Gen G are thinking it's a real threat. It's only Munchkin in this area with a Bucky.
I've seen Gen G do work in spots like this prior, especially inside the orb. Hello, Munchkin. This Dog now breaks it, will let loose that snake bite. So covering the retreat, but at the same time, John QT here anticipating every single play. Getting two there's a job well done. Karen did return that fire, but Munchkin pushed back and away. Snakebite vulnerable. Boombot in his face, barely dealt with. Still alive and kicking the Meteor. Rapid on the approach, rapid on the uptake.
They didn't help Zekken. Zekken got into sight, and they were scared. Scared of the Buckies, scared of the Snakebites coming down. Something caused a hesitation in SEN here, and it's a 3v3, still with knives on the other side.
Fear might cost you if you are Sentinels, Karen. Tucked close, not quite concealed, only good for the one. There's that instant trade. The Meteor's way ahead of you. Look at this guy, already taking a position forward and tucked underneath. He's picked up a rifle, and this could be the playmaker. Real time, watching it play out. It's like a car crash in slow motion, but a tucked plant, not anticipating it, labored in that 1v1, oh, 1v2. Sassy removed. Meteor, what a play.
The anticipation again of the rotate coming through before SEN had even realized they were going to end A. Meteor knew it.
That's trust in your gut. What we were talking about, having just no hesitation in terms of the way you make these plays.
And yet for Sentinels, I think it was a bit of hesitation. If they'd bullied their way through Munchkin's setup on B, they're probably there to help Zekken, maybe even trade that out. Listen, there's a possibility that it all goes wrong as well, but that's how dangerous Gen G can be. Solo and HSK looking like that's given them new life. Wind in the sails.
Yeah, you can understand why. Zekken does have this showstopper. Critical tool that they could be using. Maybe swing this round when the economy, well, a super heavy investment. Gen G should have some money just left in the bank, but if they lose this round, it won't look ideal for them.
Zekken was dominating on the defense side. I think he ended it with 23. Hasn't quite been able to find the same success, but here he comes.
Yep, just following it. It's all going to be leading. No way, Meteor! Plucks him out of the sky.
Didn't get cleared, he was on top of the box.
And the threat of that rocket is just negated immediately. Tens, though. He's looking for timings of his own, and this is the right time to take them. Gotta play riskily now when you're a player down, especially against a team like Gen G.
Texture.
Stacked.
Oh, they just missed the timing.
Texture. Oh, he's going to spot him now. Tens doesn't see it. Tens called
He's
out.
a dead man walking.
He really is. Should not be getting away with this at all. In fact, Texture not even worried about it. His team's going to be calling for it. He wins the fight out. Munchkin taking that one alone, but already it's Texture sees the advantage, and now that close position tucked to the corner, punishing the AWP pick. Celsius wondering how the hell did he get there? Two players to stand, but turning it down, and Meteor turning up the bloody heat. All up to John.
Again, another SEN player in a 1v2 to end this situation. Not favored. 25 seconds, doesn't know where Meteor is. There's barely going to be any time here at some point. He's got to get a move on. He's going to give the information away to Lakia.
15 seconds.
Can he knife out walk the entire way?
As much as he possibly can. Wants to give away absolutely nothing. But at some point, they got to know it's A. And Lakia, yeah, finally realizing, turns his attention towards it. Barely enough time. So John's got a hell of a task ahead of him now. Doesn't know where the players are. Left to take some gambles. Lakia, what the hell was that peak?
That's an unbelievable shot, though, from John.
Absolutely. Brought it to the 1v1. 8 bullets left in the clip. Smoke out. Open Meteor. Spoils the potential play of a lifetime.
I believed it for a moment. He even got the game reset, but Meteor comes up with another huge round, saving Gen G. They looked down and out. And here it is, the punish on the showstopper after already winning that previous round. He dominates, shuts down Tens, wins the 1v1 at the end as well. They'll have to film another take of that.
Oh, frustrations on display.
Not the cinema that John was looking for there. I believe we're going into a tactical timeout here as well.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, timeout for Sentinels then. They've just lost 2 rounds in a row. And things have gotten very scrappy in the middle of them. I mean, the engage up into B heaven seems to make a lot of sense there. Dog, showstopper follows it. They just weren't expecting there to be 3 players.
No.
They had the audio cues that they were chasing one away. They're expecting another to be hard anchored on B. They just don't think the Meteor's also going to be there. How do Sentinels adjust their attack side to get value? Because now they're also heading into Texture's ult. I mentioned it earlier too. Zekken, I think, had 23 kills to end his defense half. He was somewhere in that area, even if I'm wrong with the exact number. He's only at 26 now.
Yeah, it's been slowed down.
Yes, he hasn't really been able to have the same level of impact on the entry. And to be honest, him entering was part of what looked magical in the game against Paper Rex. And when he played Lotus against Gen G, actually, he was just sailing in, dominating opponents, cracking stuff open for the team. Kind of dragging the rest of SEN through some difficult moments.
Not in hot water just yet, but again, that lead that they had, no longer steady. Gen G creeping back up to it now, trying to make it an even map, an even game. Texture. Got that showstopper here. Caron setting up the play out towards Ram.
That's pretty risky, actually, giving away his position in there. Intense is taking the timing.
Smoke out. Texture, though, with the rifle in his hands. He's the one who has to really land this one. Shot! The crouched up. Not expecting that. Too many players to account for. Texture falling. Caron now with the judge. Now, I've seen this one before. If they walk right into him, there could be trouble.
Yeah, but they've got the Cypher on. They see that he's got that weapon. They want no piece of that smoke.
Now a maneuver all the way over. Lakia out wide, trying to anchor this position. Follow through with the kills, and they do trade out those available players. But Caron, TP in the fight, in the mix, inside the smoke, trying to dominate this one. But he only has the judge. What can one man do? Not enough. Pit, lay it down for Sentinels. They're not leaving this one to chance. They need to clean it up now. For Munchkin, the IGL. Does he anticipate Zekken's forward position? He does not. So, 11th now on the board for Sentinels. Off the back of that timeout. New lease of life on their side.
And that's a great attack side call again. SEN are really adding fake plays into their game. Yes, it's this one that opens up the round officially on the kill feed, but the whole reason that they're able to take that space in mid silently is because they created pressure A ramp and then got knowledge about where Caron was playing and knowledge that there was an opening in mid they could take advantage of. Now, last time we saw Gen G on a broken buy, they won the thing. So don't count them out here.
Definitely have the tools to do so again.
But, I mean, their positioning is, it couldn't be more wrong at the moment. Munchkin's got to try and hold it down with the judge until the cavalry arrives.
Not going fast onto his approach, but now they might just be. Still that judge. Prime position to really get some work done with this one in the close quarter avenue. Still they dash past him. They don't know where he is finally. Dealing with him. But that push down mid has turned into a fast flank with all four of them. The trip. They're giving it away, but are they going to be aware that there's this many players?
No reaction from SEN. They're not trying to take space elsewhere.
No. Holding the ground, ensnared onto the site. Now from that high ground position, spam through, but Ten's not being baited with this one. Texture, how has he got that? Opened it up onto Zelsis, rocket, rebounds into the bag, kills, collected, and there's a 1v2 out of nowhere! Caron delivers. And I'm telling you, man, you cannot count Gen G out.
It's another thrifty for Gen G, man. And it's SEN not being quick enough, not realizing fast enough that everybody was on the flank there. You know, from our position, seeing all of the perfect information, it seems obvious. Okay, you need to take screens control. You need to be able to take heaven control there. But they didn't plan for heaven, and they just all got stuck on site. They were expecting there to still be some people over towards screens or ramp or heaven.
Yeah. And unreal mechanics on display.
Yeah. Absolutely. Meteor to open, Texture's ult, and then Caron closes. The three heavy hitters.
Putting in work. 2 rounds stands between them in terms of that equalization. Again, looks like a fast play out, and it is. Gliding forward, Zelsis goes down to his own nade. And takes a with the damage follow-up, the rifle in play. John QT is so fast here, just trying to follow through with Sassy. He's already gained that ground here, but they've lost too many players.
Surely. I mean, Gen G don't have that many holes in their defense side either this round. Munchkin's already keeping B main control. You know, you've got Caron looking for the lurk play too.
Yeah, he's taking that real quick.
That was just an attempt from SEN to try to up the tempo. Use the fact that they'd faked fast A control earlier. But I think as soon as you saw the cages come through with the blast packs,
This is a full investment round for Sen. You lose this, the economy goes tumbling once more. Gen G up to 10. But maybe, just maybe you can find this kill. Zelsis! How's he getting away with it again?
But
the movement!
They can't use that. It does pull the Gen G players away slightly, but as soon as the plant goes down, Gen G are going to know that they have to focus on B, and Zelsis is going to get rooted out here.
Not again.
No!
Not again! No way! The 3 versus 3. The discipline, the diligence, paranoia sweeps through. Now the Seekers over the top with the flash, trying to hold his ground. Sassy does not go down. Pillardo, blade up, double up, guns need to be out and AI in play. Finally, Lakia. A 1v2, finds the first. Next one on the cards. Get out of here. It's lights out.
He's been so good for Gen G in the clutch. And he cleans it up again. Zelsis got away with murder in that round to make things doable. But finally, Gen G got rewarded for their good early round play. There've only been 3 successful rounds for Sentinels in this half so far. Gen G otherwise finding moment after moment. And look at the reaction. Pure relief on Lakia's face compared to the elation on all the rest. The stress, the heart rates all spiking.
Tension is there, palpable.
But the economy declining.
Now they have to make a play, they have to make a play, they have to make it now, backing away with a position of respect being shown. Don't want to tangle with that judge.
Gen G have made such an incredible comeback in this half. They're starting to believe it. They're starting to earn it. They're only 3 rounds away from lifting that trophy. And this one should be a gimme.
Even it up 11-11. It's up to Sentinels to pull out. Not just miraculous moments, but honestly just divine intervention. Might just be necessary. A jiggle. And folk gathering for Lakia here. There's not as much chance of a punish. Here's the dog trailblazer broken, denying. And he's sort of grounded, he might be able to gain Meteor. He's up close and personal now with this rifle in his hands. Does he anticipate this kind of danger? It's returned, at least with the fire, but he's already gained 2 kills for his team. And now John QT wants to put a bit of a move on here still. Doesn't have a rifle to take that fight. Dodging, ducking, weaving. Finally, the run and gun in action. Sassy, singing his plan down.
Very nicely done there by Sentinels. Lakia just giving it away a little too early by taking the shot. Missed it on John. He's opened up a chance for Sen. Post plants look good as well, honestly.
They do.
They've also planted so that Tens could get one and then ult away to heaven.
Possibilities now for Sen. Twist and turn and find themselves up to 12 here. Paranoia's exchanged. Okay, the nade just dodged the bout with the TP. Engage. Texture. Matters into his own hands. He's just blitzed his way onto the site now and out through the back of it. Neurofem. Maybe some false information, but they are looking everywhere now. Smoke. Drop down. Texture. Sticking. Half. Denied.
What a way for Sen to respond. The Thrifties will not go quietly. Both teams finding those avenues to be able to turn these into miracles. It's Lakia there who just pulls the trigger a little too early, gives away his spot, and from there, John and Sassy wiggle their way in to be able to get the plant down into such a nice area for Tens to play. Didn't even have to use the ult to reposition. Pit in mid, Sen, Matt Point, looking to try to extend the series, deny Gen G the trophy, at least for now, and move us on to Icebox.
Here.
How well Gen G have been playing. There's no certainties. You've got to think Sen are happy in this spot now. Guns are good. Gen G's economy, listen, hasn't stopped them in the past, but it's taking a hit.
Only a little one though. Munchkin is pretty happy with the judge here. It's Texture, who's really in the worst spot of things, but he's hiding inside a smoke, looking to try to make the play here.
Crouched.
Meteor,
off angle! Loses his fight out.
Against the high-low there, it's very difficult to get anything done.
Will this be the domino effect
But
here?
look, it's a fake
instant reaction. Yeah, there's a fake Charon. He commits a TP to try and reinforce that A side, but it's all for naught. Texture, the lone player to stand against it. The onslaught sweeping them through all the bounds, and the Stinger's just not good for it, at least for that. Paranoia, though, has to be a follow-up, and it has to be a cleanup, and there is there on time. Texture dropped in the process now with 30 seconds left. Take a pause in the round and take a breather because Sentinels realize it. The chance now to extend that play in the series, to take it all the way to Icebox. A tap forces it out. The first little wave of the util. All the flashes flying through, and so do the bullets. Lakia, a lot to overcome, a lot to do, and it's just impossible. Map 5 is on the cards.
From a 13-5 loss, back-to-back, the last two times that SEN play split, they take back their title of looking like the team who's best in the world on this map. Absolute cinema at the end there from John QD2. The fakes have got to be coming against the way that Munchkin plays defense, and he had them in every moment.
An unbelievable series so far. Would we have it any other way? Map 5, Icebox coming right at you.
Said I'll find you, but it's not the time to make a mistake. You're calling out the name, I'm falling down again. You're calling out the
Still are beating hearts on pins and needles. Everyone in the Madrid arena was, and Sentinels pull it off, and they managed to force a map 5 on Icebox. what an incredible game we just witnessed. And if anything, it just goes to show for the Sentinels, hey, on split, third time's the charm, baby. You know?
Yeah, they look back. They were incredible on that map. I think
Yeah.
coming in with a great game plan, their attacking side in particular, John QT was making some crazy calls, just walking into mid, reading these stacks and punishing in the late round. But damn, did Gen G make it close with that comeback.
Yeah, they did, but I gotta say, this is the first time we've really seen Gen G actually struggle in terms of the decision-making, the information game, and actually noting Lakia a couple of questionable decisions along the way, but his utility usage was amazing, and Sentinels still benefited in that regard.
And in that first half, I mean, we had a couple Sentinels multi-kill rounds that had no business happening. I feel like Gen G in that first half was letting some things slip, right? We have this round where Zekin in one position manages to come out and hit the nastiest break transfer you've ever seen. And then immediately the round after this, Saucy goes and does this, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this flank, the fact we're even showing this replay again, it's criminal, but yeah, this was the sort of thing, there was time and time again we saw Gen G just have kind of things slipping through their fingers, not having a solid grasp on exactly the position of Sentinels in the plan.
And look at this man,
yeah, just
19 years old, his first global final, almost dropping 400 ACS. He has 89 kills right now. If he keeps up his performance on Icebox, he's on pace to beat the global record for the most kills anyone has in a single best-of-5 series. Right now it's Demon 1 at 101. Zekin's on track to best that.
Oh, very well. With the way that boy's playing, it's going to be lights out potentially on Icebox. But let's actually go ahead and talk about Icebox because, Mimi, statistically speaking, this favors Gen G going into it. You gotta look at the numbers and feel like, man, this is gonna be a tall order for the Sentinels to overcome.
I don't care at this point. I don't think the players can care at this one. It's map 5 of a best out of 5. We already saw it on split. This is where it doesn't really come down to the prep, to what you have ahead of time, to what the coaches have been saying, but form in the server. These boys have been playing for, what, 3-4 hours at this point, putting their hearts into this game. It's about the team who can keep that pace into this final map, can find those big plays. The IGL who can make that adaptation and take home Icebox.
Absolutely agree. And in terms of the mental, in terms of the emotions here, for SEN to bounce back, take split back as their own and force the map 5 here, that's got to be a big boom for them.
You can see, I mean, look, I got to talk about it. Fans obviously going crazy for Sentinels here. Goes without saying, but oh man, I can't help but wonder, what are we going to get from Gen G on this one? Because there's just so many directions that they can elect to go here. But what I think is most important is there anyone that's like standing out on the Gen G side? Because when I look at the numbers on Gen G, I just see a lot of consistency, Mike, across the board. But, you know, you're really looking for a texture here to pop off and have that standout game.
I mean, historically on Icebox, it's been Munchkin, really the one to be numerically delivering. Again, had a rough performance here on split, but I mean, if we do have a pop-off game from Texture, do have a pop-off game from Meteor, then actually Icebox could be really interesting for things.
I think it's going to be about that Jet head-to-head, honestly.
Yeah.
Zekin is looking white hot. It's the same for Texture last map. And also, this one's really interesting, because a lot of the times with new Icebox, we get different head-to-heads. We get to see the Gecko KO versus the Harbor Viper, or versus the old default. This is straight up Gecko KO versus Gecko KO. Both these teams playing that new standard of composition, which means they're going to be hyper-aggressive, using those flash combos to set their Jet up, having tons of util to re-clear in the mid-round. I think all of that util, all of these 4 maps we've played thus far, really comes down to this and that head-to-head between those stars.
It's safe to say that this is one of the best Masters finals we've ever had.
The best.
The best.
The best
you know,
Masters
you're right.
finals, yeah.
The best. Let me go ahead and say it with my chest, because honestly, man, what we're getting here, just to go ahead and quote the John QT line, it truly is absolute cinema. A game where you got Gen G taking it, SEN taking it, the constant left and right hooks that we are seeing to make a boxing reference and contextualize it here. That's what it feels like. It feels like a slugfest, guys. Who's going to walk away with this? Are we feeling SEN? We feeling Gen G?
I mean, I'm still leaning Gen G. I have to give it to them.
That's
again,
stick to your guns.
Statistics coming in. I agree with Mimi's point, obviously, about the emotion, the mental game that's on display here on the stage. But I feel like Gen G are going to be able to drag this across the line.
Sentinels are hot out of that map number 4. I gotta believe in these guys to take it home. It's always the hard way with them.
It definitely has.
It's never a coast, an uphill struggle.
I actually saw Kaplan at breakfast this morning, and I was like, hey, man, what's going on? He's like, hey, man, you already know. We just got to do it the hard way.
He just looks 10 years older now.
Yeah, bro, my guy Zekin, he's aging before our very eyes right now. Might be able to drink coming out of this one. All right, well, let's go ahead and see. As far as the agent select goes, nothing crazy, as you pointed, Mimi. It's going to be that Gecko KO, Gecko KO.
Both these teams know how the other plays. Gen G is good on this map in the past. They're favored here, but this is going to come down to the individuals. Pacific will either lift their first ever trophy, a redemption arc for so many of these players on Gen G, for their rookies coming into their first ever tournament, or it will be Sentinels joining that elite few of organizations to lift 2 international trophies in Valorant.
Yeah, and looking at Texas to be the one to step up here. Alongside that, it's got to be Lakia and Munchkin to really enable him.
This is it. It all comes down to this. Map 5, and to determine who lifts the first trophy of the 2024 season. Let's go ahead and find out and send it back over one final time to the one and only Brent and Sideshow.
I don't think the Madrid arena has really seen anything quite as electric as this. 2 teams pushed to the limits. Map 5, Icebox are staging ground set. For both of these teams looking to tussle and tangle, potentially get an edge over one or the other.
For one, at the end of Icebox, all the glory. The other will be gutted to have come so far and go away empty-handed. Texture takes a little bit of space over towards A, but that knife indicating, I think, that it's going to be a bit of fake pressure.
Yeah.
Sentinels have already stacked 4 players over towards A, ready for Gen G's classic flash, dizzy, engage. But they're not going in that direction, and I think SEN are just starting to realize before TenZ takes contact.
Wondering where they might be. Thoughts creeping into their heads, wondering, oh, is mid exposed? Got to try and watch those angles. TenZ gets off the angle.
Munchkin's trying to sell it. It's only him here.
Yeah, it is just this lone player lurking up. Still SEN choose to stack the bodies towards it. In fact, they full board it.
Munchkin was thinking for a moment of calling his team back. You saw Gen G doubling back towards mid just for a second, and now they've started walking their way into B. You're right, SEN, they bought this hook, line, and sinker.
Now realizing the errors of their ways, Dizzy lays the groundwork now to try and take towards this B site. Man with the plant down, but it's an open angle here that wasn't actually smoked off. It's not available for them. Still fights ready to be taken here. Sentinels trying to get fast onto the approach and hot on their heels. The kill onto Lakia, it evens it out to 4-4, but you got to think the advantage now to Gen G.
Sassy's going to have Dizzy back online, I think. Was he able to pick that one back up? Surely.
Late lurks, Elsis seeming like he might be aware of it. Drifting back and forth, what a shot, straight to the cranium. Sassy defusing is already on half. Sassy defusing, Wingman, hello, already on the half, but it might have just brought them that critical, crucial lifeline. Munchkin from the side. An attack from second is that uncertainty, but he's defended in time by John QT. You absolute beauty.
What a way for SEN to get back in. And that's after missing the read in the round. They were forced to play retake. They got a nice little spam kill to open things up. The pick onto Lakia is huge. But the defense of Wingman, and then the defense again, as John held it down, huge.
Yeah.
This map, we're going to see whether the difference between experience and lacking it makes the difference between a trophy or not. So many players on SEN that have been in positions like this before. Some new players as well, like John, who's been calling a lights-out game and playing one too.
Exactly right. I mean, there's a chance of history on both sides. Of course, Gen G looking for that trophy lift for Pacific for themselves as well as one of the most successful iterations of a Korean roster we've ever seen. Itia forwards now into the angles. Elsis retreating and away with the turret is covering that angle there with Munchkin caught out into the open. Still a plant down for Gen G. Can't be too much more behind this. They are dropping and toppling.
Very diligent play by Sentinels, making sure that they deal with the lurk, but not
diligent.
Not clearing
I
the
mean,
corner.
speak of the devil, man. Texture makes a good go of it.
I don't see how Karen wins this, though, in a 1v3.
With a fragment nade, force him out.
Not possible.
The open to drop.
So a little bit of damage done, but not too bad. Double Bulldog and a Guardian saved into the next. And you're right, Brent. While there's history on the line for Gen G, Pacific, they've never won a trophy before. Gen G could not be closer. It's only Paper Rex in that final against FPX at Copenhagen, who were in a similar position to this, map 5, and it slipped away from them. But not only are they on the precipice of making history, but when you look at the two people at the top of the scoreboard here early on for Sentinels, Sassy and Tens both wanting to get into that, as the desk said, very exclusive club, double trophy lifters. And Sen as an org would only be the second org ever to have 2 trophies.
Wouldn't that be something?
The first and the last, or at least the most recent. I hope we don't stop doing them anytime soon.
I certainly hope not.
Sen looking aggressive at the start of this round, going forwards with 3 players over towards A, and Gen G get funneled into a B hit. I think Sen look very confident and comfortable in playing the B retakes. They seem set up for it. And also, you've got to be aware that Gen G at some point could try to flash Dizzy combo into Snowman.
Yeah.
That's another thing that Sen might be ready for.
Dizzy's exchanging the handshake there in the air. The shots are fired off here, but the plant's still down now for Gen G. Into the post plant. Again, that weaponry isn't good, but the util is. Look at that, it's a coordinated effort. An absolutely filthy spray transfer as Lakia, the texture with the final blow, put an end to any of that funny business.
Does not matter how good your utility is if you're not able to get the kill onto Lakia as he sprays down 4. I mean, so many players that he was fighting there just didn't really seem to have their guns out ready to take a duel. No. Not anticipating that somebody would have gone in front of all of that util. That's spectacular. That gets his ult online. That can really start some momentum going. Huge play from Lakia.
Yeah, sorry. The big stage, seen the big scene before, even way back in the day.
I was just going to say, Brent, by the numbers, this would be disaster for Sen, if you care about them. 0 and 6 on Icebox Sentinels since May 2022.
God.
I mean, different roster at that point, basically, right? But essentially just not a map that they've ever had success on. Does it matter in a big moment like this, though? I would say it doesn't really. There's so much more to it.
The emotional aspect, playing to each other's forms, cooking up plays on the fly. But you can stop this one here from Gen G, and they do with the knife. It's a good one. Thrash. We stopped and stunted, and the full group up again from Sentinels, looking like they are really ready to fight this one. Tooth and nail seems to be the call. Everybody through now with the Thrash, setting it up from Sassy. It hasn't been dealt with here still. Wingman forwards, Attainment not online, and they are really trying to flood in and through, but Gen G, the high ground positions on high, trying to topple them over. Celsius, the difference maker. Right when his team needed it, 2 versus 2, and guess what? Spike, drop down, top nest.
Wingman delivered that one like a juicy little delivery.
Oh, speaking of delivery, Sassy out wide, but Celsius again. It would have to be the ace, and it's shut down in its tracks.
Great try from Celsius there, but just not quite enough to overcome the player disadvantage. Sen have a clear game plan of how they want to defend against this. They're not getting caught by the flash combos at the beginning of the round, but they use their own utility to get back in, doing a retake before Wingman can even get started, making sure to break that as well so the spike's lost in enemy territory. But Gen G got too many picks as Sen were trying to flood. That round win for Gen G has knocked the economy of Sen. Celsius one away from the lockdown too. Certainly something to fight with if they can get picks early.
Doesn't expect the angle though. Meteor be close to the corner, swinging out, only gets the body shot, so 100 damage done, and already texture. Gained all that ground, scaled rapidly on the approach. Looking to pick apart this Sentinels players that are left standing.
And this top 4-10 position is one where Gen G were able to get value in the previous round.
It's broken. Just creeping right into it.
Yeah, and by the way, throughout all of this, Caron has just walked up B into Snowman and is calling for his team, listen, you don't need to take the risk of going into A. Yeah, you're favored, but why even bother with it? Let's go B, let's make sure that Munchkin gets his ult online for the next round, and keep this snowball going.
Play it safe. We've got players and forwards, advanced positions. I mean, if there's any pushing out of position here by Sentinels, look, it's going to be captured by Lakia. If not Lakia, then Texture.
Looks like a great game plan for Gen G here. Not just applying crazy pressure over towards A.
There it is.
But also being able to get the lurk in on B. The Gen G A hit is so powerful. And really, this Flash Dizzy lineup that they use with Munchkin on top of pipes and then Lakia following it in afterwards, it's crazy hard to deal with. And that means that Sentinels are starting to stack A to deal with it more and cheat over towards the A side. And Karen's found within the first 5 rounds that opening on B as a reaction.
Chomping at the bit for the chance.
Already thinking ahead about how to stop Sentinel's counter-strat.
More importantly here for Gen G, with these recurring wins, rounds online, they have big ults to try and punish and keep that snowball going. Now the knife wasn't broken, so Zekken tagged up here. Players have to watch the belt position, at least on that high ground approach. Wall up in his face. There is some danger here. Up close, it's all about the reactions, but again, they could come from any direction. No command, it's a jiggle. Almost anticipating and expecting there to be that level of aggression. But still Tens. He's in that top position with the operator still into half clearance, and punishment in place.
Beautiful adaptation from Sen, deciding to take the fight to Gen G. They know that the classic Gen G exec starts from pipes control. And so Tens is already up there, using Zekken as a distraction, essentially. Everyone's going to be focused on the operator, shutting them down, trying to punish them. And they just end up running into Tens' waiting arms. Munchkin, the IGL, going to take a moment to see if he can win this round. Does he have an opening still? This isn't going to be a full save where he uses it as a timeout. He does still have chances here.
I mean, the money's stacked.
30 seconds.
Make a go of it.
Spotted, plant, now 1v3.
Sounds into this one here, but it's Munchkin who he needs to seek out the weaknesses, really. Will Sen give him any? Doubled up, shoulder to shoulders, an updraft peek here from Zekken, so he's just clearing all the potential possible spots, but there is that blind spot, Munchkin eventually cleaned up, but knowing this team, I'm a believer in almost any scenario.
Now that Munchkin's had his go at winning the 1v3, he'll have to start thinking about what went wrong in terms of the macro of that round. Did they need to put more B pressure in order to pull players away from Ed?
Stay down. My ult's ready.
Was it that they need to be applying a little bit more utility to clearing out pipes before they go for the exec? These kind of things are going to be racking through his brain as the score's at 3-3.
Really good job. Really good positions.
Zelsis clearly happy with that one. And Sen don't start this round with a stack over towards A. I think already anticipating a change up from Gen G. There's not one coming.
Gen G happy to opt into that brawl. And knuckle fighting. Picked up by the knife, slowing it down for but a moment. Now waiting for it. Right time to strike. Big ultimates for them to use to try and get themselves into this. In fact, it's on the other side of things. Do they have anything to deal with Zelsis? This lockdown contacting, walking right now. Finally, the mollies being used to try and take that backside control. Texture. Oh, he's
lineups.
Deep,
Here it comes.
spotted lineups.
Oh, missed!
Against the wall here. Moshpit has to be committed. Will it break it?
No, because it needs the fragment as well.
So the additional util just doesn't add up. It was all missed in time. Tens forwards here. There is detainment. Fragment nade. Does he expect it? No, he does not. Meteor again taking matters into his own hands, and he's slipped himself up into that forward position, but finally dealt with. Shut down. Lakia cannot withstand it. This pressure is just immense.
Don't interrupt.
Sentinels with a successful retake. And part of that has got to be down to the fact that Munchkin missed the nade. Every team at this point has a setup to try to counter that lockdown. We're talking the best teams in the world. Of course they have setups for that. But it got missed somehow, the fumble from Gen G. I don't know what piece of architecture that hit onto.
I won't claim to know as well, but
it's just on a door frame by the look of it. Devastation.
Tiniest of differences for Sentinels to take the lead here in map 5. Grand finals on the line.
Get out of my way.
Meteor, Karen creeping closer to those ults, and Lakia already has his. It's going to be difficult for Zekken, I think, to really get a peek if he decide to invest the Thrash.
Oh my god, the knife, no way! He just disrespects it, and Zekken is out of there on top of the ropes. He does not want to be hunted down and away, but is that detainment? Where's the help? Dash through, TenZ is there! Finally, support arriving, but Lakia cleaning up that pesky player close towards yellow.
But Sassy's done enough, just by staying in an open area where the rest of his team could cover him.
Spotted in the window.
Yeah, by the turret. Yep. Great turret position there. Utilizing the new window that got carved out of Tube.
Real read here for Sentinels. But again, have to maintain these advantages when they are handed to you. And if you lose that fight into mid, suddenly 3 versus 3. Have a peek of things here. Out, open, timing against him. Zekken, he loses his fight, and just like that, it's turned.
Absolutely brutal for Sen. Great punishment on these peaks by Gen.G.
Reaction test here for Zelsis. He doesn't even need it. Blind as a bat, but he still sprays him down, but he can't follow through with the second kill. 1 versus 2. Knife. Ouch on QT, not anticipating it. That pace and tempo injected into the round by Gen.G at just the right moments.
I love it too, because while you're talking about the post-plant aggression, the pause in the round baited out these little plays. I mean, Zekken didn't know exactly where to put his crosshair. And TenZ going for a peek under Tube opens the win up for Gen.G. That's got to be frustrating for the Sen coaches. What a gift for Gen.G.
Even as anything. No imbalances here when it comes to the rounds. Our fight taken straight to them here. Opting into the scrap. Zekken, there's no way you dash into that angle, and he is punished.
Wow, what a flash from Munchkin. Just bleached the eyeballs of Zekken, and TenZ looking to try to take the fight.
The Dizzy didn't get broken in time. No way!
What a wall bang!
Right through the wall. And TenZ still not going to be removed from this spot. He just sees it, head poking over, but now has to respect it. Players all around him. Sassy, your turn to strike back if you can. While the iron is hot, and hot it is! They drop him. No entry into the site. Stand your ground, say your piece. The Vibe Merchant on his feet.
Gen.G cannot crack this A defense. I've not seen any team put up as good as a defensive setup against this as Sen have. Multiple layers to it, right? There's Zekken going aggressive at the beginning, drawing attention, TenZ up on pipes, and then crossfire setups on the site. And yes, Sen are overstacking A, but they're doing it at the right times. They're actually getting the read on when Gen.G are executing. Gen.G need to throw a few fakes of their own into it. That's something we've been talking about Sentinel's attack side the whole time. They need to try to pull people towards A and use that B lurk timing that Karen found in round 5.
Still anyone's game, though.
Oh, absolutely. It's not like Sen have figured it out and that's them with the trophy in hand.
Yeah.
Putting up a great fight on a bad map for them.
And here it is, target-rich environment. The wall obscuring, hiding. The intent of Gen.G, but out wide, that's Munchkin. No kill to be claimed, but Zekken, let's give it up anyway. Now, the pixel angle, holding forward. It's going to be that high-low, and a peek with the Dizzy on top of things, running and gunning forward. Zekken, drop down, 1 kill found, but already the pit is down and out, covered at the site.
Munchkin's weak. Is he going to try to knock himself to get the full res? Oh, they go for the lockdown as well.
Lockdown play. Using it to clear them all the way back here, so Sentinels won't be able to withstand their ground here, but there is that gap out towards the back here. It seems like there's some hesitation. How do they want to try and fight towards this one? It looks like now the plan being committed. Still with that pit here with the ults all the way through now. Thrash to set it up, and it has cleared the way through. No! Timing! Timing! Karon! An absolute menace! And a 1v2. Sassy! So much to do. Mosh rebounds. Pit still alive and active, but it finally fades, and look at it. It's hectic, it's frantic, he's looking this way and that way. Wingman out! Can't collect the kill!
You can see the nerves at play here, just by taking a look at normally a calm and very experienced player. What is this as well? That's everything. Karen being able to dodge that Thrash is everything in this round. It's a beautiful idea. Sassy and TenZ play it superbly. Karen making the play to dodge it, keep the pit up. 5-5, Gen.G. They came into that round with 2 people with only sheriffs.
Yeah, I mean, the money wasn't good. See 3 rifles to play with. Undeterred now by that one. Fast play, fast approach. Over towards A. SEN stacking it with players.
No, this time playing it for retake again with Zelsys lockdown. I mean, they must realize, though, that they got kind of lucky with Munchkin missing the fragment grenade before. Look how good the Flash Dizzy is.
Yeah, just can't break it, can't withstand it. Here comes a lockdown, though. It's fast by SEN.
Is there anything to break it?
Pushing back right into the flank. Sassy! He's going in the open. Didn't withstand it with his gun out.
He thought Gen G were going to fight the lockdown, but the lockdown came too early. Gen G weren't in position for the lineups. Zelsys in mid.
Catching Meteor, crucial to the round. Success. Orb in his face, blooms and blossoms fading away. Here's the footsteps, here's the running gun. Zelsys! Awareness off the charts. Pit dropped down 2. But dodging that one with the detainment. The Thrash not getting anything. And the decay damage, there it is. Putting in work with Zelsys leading that charge still.
The spike, it went down. Wingman able to plant it in the midst of all of this. But this pit, it's not a post-plant play. It's for SEN to go for the retake.
And they got all that space, still have to clear through this one. Kieran has a snake bite, at least one with the tap. And now they're flooding through onto the side. That left hand approach. Flash! Magnificent! Munchkin to deliver. And he's got to stand and do it now. The tap, forcing out the bullets, no more. Left in the chamber.
What an incredible beginning. Could be set at an absolutely tied first half on a map where, by all accounts, Gen G should be hugely favored. But I don't feel like I'm seeing the nerves hit the Gen G players. It doesn't feel like a collapse from them.
No, it feels like SEN stepping up.
It definitely does. The adaptations they've made and the awareness of how Gen G want to play Icebox, loving the way that they're defending. The pit there from John Cutie was immaculate. Zelsys awareness too. And the flash out from TenZ just all working really nicely together.
SEN players rallied, reinvigorated. Deep knife gives him peace of mind there, so TenZ can earn himself up to his ult. Wasn't pushed back, and a full group up by Gen G.
They're aware that sometimes the Sentinels players have pushed on defense. Remember, they caught Sassy pushing out of B in the previous round after they'd applied their pressure on A.
Wait too long, the knife might be back online for TenZ to just throw it from Boiler.
TenZ has his ult to be able to work with too, so the closer they get, the less they can really rely on the Viper wall to do anything for them. Do they have an idea of where TenZ is? He's set up for another knife lineup. Here comes the knife again. Might get bad info though here, actually.
Orb up. Catches back over to A.
Yeah, that knife caught onto Munchkin. But then TenZ is still rotating off.
It's really orchestrated. I mean, they just know. When the orb's up like that, they only catch one onto the knife. Yes, they could cut noise, but Zekken holding from the top rafter position here. Plenty of angles to adjust and choose from, but they are walking right into the one that matters most. Dash online, backs away, Sassy, close now. In their faces, willing to take the fight straight to them with only 25 seconds left as the final round of the first half. And an important one at that, Wingman broken. That's the confirmation. Gen G have to follow through with the weaponry and the guns, and they're finding their own place, but it's only down to one. Texture, Soul Survivor breaks it down. Munchkin late to the party and jumping around. The nerves at play.
Sentinels can feel it. They've got the lead at the half on a map they weren't favored on. They were banking on a 3-1 finish to this series, but 3-2 would do the job. Heartbreak on the horizon, perhaps, for Gen G, as they were looking at the first trophy for Pacific and now have such an uphill battle to be able to make that a reality. What a finals we have here.
Absolutely insane stuff. Send it down to the desk. They want to break it all down, I can tell.
The electricity in this room is unreal as everyone is on their feet and honestly just blown away by what we've been seeing in this game, guys. Not just are we getting great ideas from Gen G, but we're getting even better ideas from Sentinels on a map, as Brennan Sideshow were noting, Hypoc, that they were just not favored in.
Yeah, and I think Sentinels achieved the primary objective, shutting down the main win condition, which is this A site execute. Josh was talking about it. After that, though, the adaptation from Sentinels is perfect. They read the game to perfection, start stacking towards B, baiting Gen G into their stronger setup.
For 8 of these players, they've never been in a grand finals of an international event of this level before. For 2 of them, they're rookies in their first ever appearance at an international. You can see the nerves, even in the veterans. The shots from Sashi shaky at times, but what matters is how you convert in the end. That was a half of hero plays, of moments towards the end to come back, but Sentinels is up. But at this halftime, this is the last chance really for the coaches, for the teams to talk together, to come up with that final plan to lift that trophy in front of them.
This is it.
I mean, you've seen some of the cracks start to show on the side of Gen G. I mean, Josh even referenced this as well. The pressure getting to them, some questionable decisions, couple of misplays here and there. Is this where it all comes apart?
Pacific has been in the finals before. They've never lifted a trophy. Gen G want to make this comeback happen, but Sentinels, you can see it in their eyes. They're standing up on the stage. They can feel that trophy. They are ready for it.
This is it, folks. The next time you'll hear our voices, we have crowned a Masters champion. But hey, you know, this matchup feels quite global in itself. Let's go ahead and send it back over to Brendan's Sideshow to send this bad boy home.
The tension is palpable, energy building in the arena. You can see it, we can feel it. History will be made right here on this half of Icebox.
Gen G won every single pistol the last time that these 2 teams played in the upper bracket final and walked away with a comfortable win on 2 out of 3 of the maps. They need this one.
Open face by Caron, almost with the punishment. Tagged down by the turret, just seeking to at least destroy it and remove some of that mid-round information.
That's not the only piece of aggression in mid. Texture, Lakia, still trying to get posted up there, making sure that Sen don't play in that area.
Jump spot from Tensier, but he's out wide now with the face in top of the Dizzy. They have to give up this space here, but Gen G might seek to try and fight this one. Wingman, he's already in the fray. Through the back of the side here, broken, down. Plant out in the open, but behind the box, Second finds his mark. Precision being the name of the game, but Gen G not willing to give up even a scrap of territory. No map control, and no gain really for them. Gen G takes to, oh my goodness, 2, but eventually brought down. 3 versus 3, and the spike's still not retrievable.
It's a spike position.
30 seconds left.
They keep getting tucked behind this box over and over. Caron, though, he took so much damage earlier on, they could just spam him out.
20 seconds roughly in the round. It all comes down to this for Sen, and a pistol round. 1 to stand. 1, 2, fall! Sentinels are feeling it!
Zelsis on his feet again. And Sen in the driving seat, despite having that map veto disadvantage because they had to come through the lowers. Sassy on that stage for the 3rd time knows that it can be done. He, every time he'd made it to a grand finals before, went through the upper bracket, but he didn't always win.
He knows it's doable. Energy just is truly, truly palpable for Gen G. A shy investment. Utility, maybe a sheriff of Meteor to get something done, but this is Sentinels, in all likelihood, wrapped up to that 9th round.
Depending on whether or not they go into the stack, I really feel like you can't count out Gen G even when they only have pistols and Meteor, who hasn't really been hitting this map, the only one with a sheriff. If Tens goes down and they pick up the Stinger, maybe something can snowball off the back of it. Sen are playing this so cautiously. They do not want to give an inch to Gen G.
Caution can spell defeat sometimes. Knife, no info, it's caused to rotate.
That's an amazing timing for Sen to start to hit A. Tens has read this one perfectly.
Just like that, we talk about it, the tiniest of differences affecting so much more.
Where you going, mate? Where you
going? Stinger from that range.
All right.
Ten's getting away with all sorts of murder. It's a massacre in front of the back of the site, but he gives up his life in the end.
I can't believe he took that decision, but I think that shows you the confidence on play. Sen setting up for the aggressive post plants. Gen G's composition can be very potent when you allow them to get into retake scenarios. And Sen are clearly planning to play forwards even when this turns into rifle rounds. You can see the kind of angles that they're taking. Gen G are going to struggle to get back into sights if they allow Sen to walk in like that. Yes, it was a gamble. Yes, they needed to try to make the play. But what a beautiful read from TenZ there. Saw the knife whistle past him and realized an opening could be his. A 4-round lead for Sentinels.
Gen G, unfamiliar position that they're in here in this grand finals on this big stage. Now we've got to do the most. They've got to try and steal their hearts, calm down the nerves, get some form of collection together. Because the map is running away from you, and not just the map, it's the series. It's your chance of etching your place into history.
Texture has gone for a glass cannon operator this round on the anti-bonus.
Placing swarm grenade.
Triple stack over towards A. The knife catching Sassy over there. And Texture already starting to come off that aggressive B long line.
This op has to pay off. It just has to. Taking a gander. Walking back over. To the angle now, behind yellow box. Lots of angles to really choose from too.
He can't expose himself to Zeken's position. At any point here, he could be getting walked up on. That's why you see him just going for the check.
And he just doesn't know. He just does not know.
You are open to being timinged here. He's taking a risk.
Risks are necessary in this particular position. All up. Everybody crossing. Texture can feel it now, and he's going to be tagged up by the knife. Has to respect this now and back away. No, he's just out in the open. No man's land. Flash, though, eventually respecting it and backs behind the wall. Gen G trying to be fast. Now with this rotate plan denied. Shut down here with only 33 seconds left now. Cavalry has arrived.
30 seconds
All
left.
5 players here. There's 25 seconds left. How are they getting back in?
That's the question, isn't it? Waiting for that regen util, but again, there's only 20 seconds remaining. Got to get a move on, and it needs to be now for SEN. What is the game plan? Wall up, just about.
They've got to push forwards.
Push forwards, and that's why TenZ is there. Underhanded, flash through, takes it. The fight straight to Intermedia on top of bridge. Gen G, though, surely the guns prevail. It's 1 versus 2. There is that value. Rifle upgrade. Celsius here. Is it even planted for it? I'm not even sure. Tucked to the corner here. They know where he is. Wingman sets its sight onto it. Lakia half on the defuse and even more. No kills to be claimed. No kills to be collected. Gen G narrowly avoiding it, but they need to keep these guns.
That is so rough, losing the op in that situation. They knew that they had the round secured, and they still couldn't keep that supremely important weapon online. Nerves in these big moments certainly hit SEN. Yes, it wasn't the most successful round in the world, but that was their bonus. They were coming into it with Stingers, Spectres. And they've hurt the economy in the sense that Gen G coming into this one with double Guardians and no operator. That is huge. They know they don't need to deal with that in the next round.
Familiar scenes here. Seen that one before with a deep knife. Gives him that chance for Munchkin to try and build up that ult, but here it is. Fast and loose. It's a call made here by Sentinels. Looking to disrupt. No command. There's no abilities here, so Sassy going to be able to get that plan down. So again, into the post-plan situation we go. Gen G going to be tested now on their retakes.
Gen G are looking for the lurker, coming around throughout mid. There isn't one.
Yeah, just trying to clear it out.
Sassy can play so far back and just work off his thrash. Does Munchkin have some kind of knife to be able to deny this?
Mosh pit, flash, through and out second. How the hell is he alive there? Thrash now finally being used, but it's offloaded. All the volleys as well. Thrash broken. Media, wide texture. Trying to claim another one here. Being dropped down to 10 HP. 10, surely he falls, surely. They go down. Half. Out. Munchkin. Has he bought enough time? He's got too many targets to deal with. Too much indeed.
Small smile on the face of Zelsis. Throwing in the wide swing, knowing that the aim is going to be at its shakiest in this, the latest hour. Zen creep ever closer. It was a tough one. They had to hold off all sorts. The swing that came through here, or in the previous, to be able to deny the wingman, I thought could have been punished. But Gen G just didn't have it in them. They've been stuck, paralyzed at 6 as Sen creep up and up. 3 rounds away now. Within touching distance, they can see the trophy in front of them. what they've been working for since October. Honestly, all throughout last year as well, through the turmoil of their roster, of trying to figure out an identity. And since adding John, his first time on the big stage like this as well, doesn't appear to be a rookie.
No. He's been delivering in every twist and turn of this tale that is the grand finals, this best of 5. It's just a ludicrous scenario that we stare ourselves at. Sentinels holding this lead on a map that they haven't won since May 2022.
No. And Gen G have looked fabulous here. They wrote the book on how to use this Gecko KO composition that Sentinels ended up taking for themselves.
Yeah.
And now to see SEN outplaying them, this is what we were talking about earlier, Brent. It's not always the game plan or who's won in the past. When it gets to big, high-pressure moments like this, it's can you deliver?
Do you have the determination in you? Timeout that was taken for Gen G here. They have to pick themselves up. We've seen comebacks on Icebox before, on the biggest stages of the world. But it takes a special kind of team to be able to pull that one off.
Oh,
and Molly misses the Nano Swarm.
But going off the sound cue there, the turret still gets retracted.
Yeah, pulled back.
Gen G do not have the weaponry to hold on against this. The knife collecting onto 2, at least, possibly even 3 there, indicating that it would be an A execute. Meteor gets pulled over to reinforce Munchkin. And then goes back as Munchkin comes. There is no noise. The re-hits working really nicely against Gen G and the way that Munchkin likes to make hard reads.
Only one tag there with the knife. That is going to be the go button. Pressed here by SEN. Not just that, but they're pressing the advantage, scaling deep into the back of the site. They're giving an edge to them. Zekken is tucked deep, and there's going to be that supportive util. Look at that. Ten's already holding for it. First signs of life from Gen G. A flash, and Molly is going to go flying. And there it is. Dizzy needs to be broken. Not quite. Just sailed right over, but a bit of miscommunication out here. Texture. The knife's at play. The knife's at work. He's going to try and slice and dice to victory. Gen G finding that footwork, and the ground gained and granted to them. 2 versus 2. A weapon. At least with the upgrade, Meteor is going to be holding this one. He's going to be defusing this one, but already the wall fades and topples away. Half needs to be earned, and he does get it, but time against him entirely.
Celsius again is there to make sure the safe pair of hands. Another player who was there at the very beginning. And he's 18-8, making sure to be the backbone of this team. Emotional leader for Sentinels, thriving under the pressure, making sure that every one of these tight moments is closed out. Gen G, they must pick this timing to respond if they want any chance of forging their place in history.
It has to happen now. Pressure against them. Either crumble or makes diamonds. Texture misses the adjustment. Can't quite hit the snap to the side, and now pushed away from the angle. In fact, even activates the dash, anticipating like it could be a follow-through, but it's not.
But
Sentinels are out of there.
He's getting good information here, Bren. The fact that Texture popped the dash and got back on the angle is telling Gen G to keep 3 players A. And they have Lackier on pipes too. This is looking like the way that SEN wanted to defend.
Certainly is. Here's Zekken! Matters into his own hands, leading the charge with a dash that just collides right into the collision of 410. There needs to be the adjustment. It's not there! An inevitability! Texture in a 1v3.
He's got to try to hold on to the last shreds of hope in his heart. But it must be feeling heavy. He knows that this is SEN, likely to get up to 12.
Look at the triangle they formed as well, crossfire setups. It would have to be the play of his career, and he knows it's not possible. In the movement, in his posture.
You see that he's just forced to take the smart play and back off. But this has got to be devastating. The silence in the Gen G camp as they allow Texture to play the clutch, settle in like fog. Memories flashing back. Where did it go wrong in the series? We were favored on split, weren't we? Icebox, surely we had the advantage. How are we in this position? 6 rounds in a row that Gen G would need to take, and Zelsis, he's on his feet. The round was still going on, and he's already celebrating.
Orchestrating the crowd.
HSK head in hand.
Thanks.
And this is it, the precipice. The line that's been drawn, and Sentinel's willing to cross it. And this will be them as an org, as players, as individuals, etching themselves in the history books. But one last hurrah for Gen G. Has to put a stop to it now. Thrash clears through, that's entertainment! Takes a drops down, but he's fallen prey to it. Hunted down. Up to Lakia. He's called for the reinforcements, but this is it. It's a brutal scenario. They're picked to pieces. Thread unraveled. Sentinels can feel it.
The ult even forced out a meteor here to try to keep the Horde back. But they're in a 3v5. There's nobody on A. Where's the win condition? It just looks like Sen are going to have a free ticket to A. Zeken's going to make a play down mid, and it gets cancelled. Why would you even bother taking the risk?
Play it together. Thrash, second round. To clear the way through. It's Munchkin standing his ground. Knife just a little bit too late here. They can feel it now. Pressure mounting. Gen G stacking, but they will topple. They will fall. The rifles are too good. 1,000 days and counting. Sentinels maintaining their relevancy.
30 seconds left. Spike planted.
The last time they were at an international event, last time they earned any sort of accolades.
Toxins going up.
And Caron, from rank to rookie to tier 1 play, left to stew. Pacific's hopes and dreams laid on his shoulders. Gen G's hopes and dreams laid on his shoulders. But how much can one man do? First one found, second one not there. It's over. Sen City, here to play, here to stay. And history has been made.
Sentinels organization leapt to stardom, became a household name because of the win that they got in that first ever Masters event. They have struggled, they've been clowned on, last year was devastating, but this group of players has done it. They put Sentinels back on top. The best team in the world to open 2024. And I can't believe it happened like that. 5 maps, Pacific's hopes dashed.
Hopes and dreams, and that's what they'll remain. But for Sentinels, proud of how far they've come here. Gen G will take a bow. It's a curtain-closed finish. Not how they hoped, not how they liked. It was supposed to go differently for them, but they just couldn't pull it over the finish line.
They've still made history. They've still made history, but that trophy is not for them.
member of the Sentinels hoist that trophy over their head. A long and difficult path for each and every one of those guys on that stage. What a run.
A journey that stretches over 1,000 days. Sentinels are finally back on top, solidify their start to this year as world champions. Madrid will forever be known as the second coming of Sentinels.
They did it the hardest way possible. They played every match in the offseason, grinded since October. Every possible game in Americas. They went the long road here in Madrid and all 5 maps in the finals. After over 3 years, Sentinels joins the very few to have 2 international trophies in Valorant.
An unreal run from an unreal team. Guys who joined in a unified vision to bring a trophy to the fans of Sen City, to the organization that has stood by this game from the very beginning. And for them to do it in the way that they have done it, taking the hard road, Mimi, this right here is something that, oh boy, it's a special moment for sure.
And you see Tenz on that stage. He's been there since the beginning, since that first trophy lift. Went through 3 years of turmoil, of grinding it out in North America. Unable to make another run happen. But now he has that trophy.
Cannot believe how they managed to put this one together. But also, I do want to say real quick, commiserations for Gen G on one hell of a tournament as well. They played hard, they played this team as tough as they could. Pacific's got a lot to be proud of. But on this day, Sentinels got the better of them. But I will say this much, I don't think that this is going to be the end of us seeing this rivalry between Sentinels and Gen G, because I want more.
We're bound to get it. You see Zekin lift the trophy just days after his 19th birthday.
Crazy. Actually crazy. To even put that in and having, I'll go ahead and say it now, solidifying MVP status here in Madrid. Just an individual performance for the history books.
This kid has been waiting for his opportunity, and he finally had the right team around him to make it happen. Sassy as well. Champions 2022, the last time this man felt a trophy now on a completely different team. With 4 new members around him, he's made it happen again.
He took that risk after winning a world championship with Loud, decided that he wanted to bet on himself, go and join the Sentinels, come to the Americas region, not alongside his Brazilian brothers, but instead joining a lineup that was mixed at the beginning, that was struggling, and now for him to be right here, I mean, it's just unbelievable.
And for Zelsis, the man's more than just a salesman. He's the guy who kept him in it. You saw him on that last map, standing up, shouting at every moment. His teammates have said he's the reason they play for. He reminds them what they're after. This is it. They don't need a reminder anymore.
Yeah, his contribution in and out of the game today has been so visible the whole way through. Regardless of when the wins came for Gen G, regardless of when the wins came for Sentinels, he's been on his feet. He's been elevating his team today.
Of course, it was a back and forth affair between both of these teams, and it really couldn't have gone any other way. When you think about the great finals that we've had already in the history of this game, the short history of this game, whether it's Fnatic versus Loud, EG, PaperX last year, some great matches across the board. This one, most definitely a special one, as it just goes to show me how the game has just continuously evolved.
And I'm just so impressed in Sentinels staying in this series. The final map not favored to them.